Hello and welcome to Flix and Chill with me, Luke. This week I'm joined with a very special guest. CJ is here with me, so CJ, why don't you take it away and introduce yourself?
Hey, I am CJ, known as the Music God CJ Plain. I am all over the internet if you want to find me. YouTube channel, Music God Reacts. Currently on the tail end of pneumonia, so if I cough and act like an idiot, please excuse me. Um, waited a while to do this though and didn't want to miss it, so I'm here as long as the bones are moving, we're gonna get it done. But thank you for having me on here, man. I look forward to doing this.
Hmm.
I get to do music all the time. I don't always get to do the movie stuff, and I
Yeah.
always love to do the movie stuff because
Hmm.
um, even though I'm known as the music god, I know just as much about movies and pop culture. So
Nice. And I appreciate your time. Thank you for being here. Genuinely. Thank you. So you obviously, okay, so hinted at a bit at it. So you're a musician first, or is that correct? Would you classify
um,
yourself as musician
I'm
first?
I was a musician
Okay.
when I was younger.
Hmm.
Then I had kids and realized that music doesn't really pay the bills and
Yeah.
bills aren't going to wait and children demand food. So, get a job.
Hmm.
Did that, tried to kill me. Got this beautiful, lovely scar running down the middle of my forehead from it. Um, Now I am not allowed to drive truck anymore. The government says because you've suffered a brain injury,
Hmm.
can't drive a semi. I can drive a school bus. I can drive a
Okay.
limousine, but not a semi. It's just, hey, if I kill myself, that would be terrible. But
So, so you
if
can
I
drive a
crash the
school
school
bus
bus,
full of children. That's fine.
yeah, like if I crash the school bus with 80 kids in it, it happens. Don't crash a semi with only you, you
Yeah,
know.
that makes total sense.
So
That makes so much
yeah,
sense.
dude, I'm sure it's no different over there, but
Hmm.
it is government idiocracy at its finest.
Yeah.
Like the complete, and I pointed this out to him, that's completely asinine.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, the Homeland Security policy of I don't want to hear all that.
Hmm.
The math is in mathing.
Nope.
One semi, one person, one death. That's it.
Hmm.
School bus, 80 plus children.
Yep.
A limousine could have anywhere from one up to 12 people, depending on
Yep.
the
The size of it.
complexities of it.
Yep.
I can drive those.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
can drive a city bus.
Hmm.
I got my class C still. I got my class B still. You took my class A.
Hmm.
It makes zero sense that I can't drive alone in a semi that I'm specifically trained for with 16 years of experience, no tickets, no driving infractions ever.
Hmm. Hmm. That is
Well,
bad.
you could have a seizure at any time. I could get in my car and drive down the street and get hit by a drunk driver.
Hmm.
Life happens, bro. Like, life ain't gonna stop. Like, do you know how many people drive trucks that get hit by other cars, that go off mountainsides, that go off bridges because of mechanical failures and different things? This is why we do pre-checks. That's why these trucks now have backup systems after backup systems, and
Hmm.
whatnot.
Yeah.
I understand you need to regulate the industry, but look, it's been 14 years since
Hmm.
this happened. Not one problem other than a little bit of short-term memory loss.
Yeah. That is
I'm in my
insane.
50s now. That happens, okay? That's just old age. That ain't.
Hmm.
But I mean, what can you do? You fight the government, all you do is waste a lot of time, waste a lot of money, and you still don't get jack shit done. So,
Yeah. You fight the power, but the power sometimes wins.
but I'm retraining now.
All right.
Um, so I am doing a dual bachelor program for both media communications and music production.
Oh, nice. How is that
So
going?
it's uh it's a process.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah. Yes.
Biggest part of the process for me is I operate on PCs, and the industry standard is MacBook.
Yep.
And I'm having to relearn everything on MacBook, which I'm not happy about because I'm not a Mac fan at all. Um,
I
so
understand.
right here to my right, I have a $3,000 brick MacBook that I've had this thing 9 months, and I've probably turned it on twice.
Hmm.
Every assignment I've done in this program has been done on a PC.
Hmm.
Uh, you know, well, Do this assignment in Pro Tools. Okay. It gets done in Reaper and then I turn it in as a converted Pro Tools file. You know, and teachers don't know.
Yeah.
And well, industry standard says, look, if you pay me $10 million to film a movie for you, and I turn that movie into you, and it's good, and it meets all your check marks, you don't give a shit whether I use Pro Tools,
Hmm.
Reaper, DaVinci Resolve,
Hmm.
whether it's done in Audition, Audacity, it doesn't matter as long as it gets done and
Yeah.
hits the check marks.
Yep. Yep.
You know, like, look, not everyone can afford Pro Tools and all of these expensive programs. Now, yeah, you do provide it as part of the program,
Hmm.
but I promise you, once this license runs out, I'm not spending $1,800 for Pro Tools. Hell
Hmm.
no. I don't like the program.
Yeah.
It's so discombobulated and backwards.
Hmm.
I mean, I can do the same thing in Reaper in a third of the steps.
I feel like, it should be like recommended, oh yeah, the industry
Well,
standard is Apple, therefore you should really look into this and this and this, right? But not really
right.
mandatory.
I mean, I get it. Look, it
Hmm.
is the industry standard. That's how Hollywood operates.
Hmm.
My thing is, though, like, look, I'm not using this to work in Hollywood.
Yeah.
My goal is I am building a social media brand.
Mm.
I want to learn the advertising, the promotion, the SEO, how to beat the algorithm, that kind of junk, like I want to build my shit up so I'm up there with Logan Paul and Mr. Beast and I want to be like the Mr. Beast of music and movies. Um,
Oh, okay.
like I want to build this brand to the point where I can start doing fun stuff and giving money to people and working with charities and giving back
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know. Um, right now, I'm moving along. It's
Hmm.
not 100%, but you know what? It started as a joke.
Yeah.
It I'm sort of obsessed with music reactions.
Hmm.
And I would watch them and I'd be like, I could do it better. This you're missing this about the song, you're missing this about the song, you're missing this about the movie, or you're
Hmm.
missing this point. And I was like, my friends were like, you should start a reaction channel. And I was like, nobody wants to listen to the old guy talk about obscure movies and songs. And
Hmm.
you'd be surprised. I was like, okay. So I started a channel. Okay, look, let's aim for 50 views on a video because realistically, up to that point, the stuff I had posted on YouTube, that's about what I was averaging,
Hmm.
somewhere between 30 and 50 views. Posted the first video, posted the second video. By the third video, that video took off. And at the end of the first year, I had 15,000 subscribers and over 1 million views. And I was like,
Nice.
okay, maybe people do want to listen to the old guy talk about obscure random shit. So, um,
Congrats.
now I'm at the end of I'm in the third year
Hmm.
of it and hasn't moved much over the past 6 months because I've concentrated on school.
Hmm.
But just got this beautiful new baby
Oh,
last night.
nice.
And
Sony.
so that's a Sony ZV-1. All the bells and whistles.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, so we're gonna be getting this bad boy up and running. I need the cords that come with it are, you know, terrible. The
Yeah.
power cord is like this long, and I was like, you're supposed to do it
Yeah.
six
Yeah.
inches of power cord, so I got to run to the store and get a better power cord, but it's just a type C, so it ain't a major thing. But we're
Hmm.
gonna upgrade these cameras and we're gonna get it moving again and
Nice.
expand. And my youngest son, he's gonna take part. We got a new channel we're debuting. We're gonna do food and drinks and
Hmm.
snacks and that kind of junk. So we're gonna do that channel with him. Keep it PG,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're gonna monetize that one because the reactions, as much as people love them,
Hmm.
that money goes to the artist. I don't get to see that money. The second I
Okay.
talk about, let's react to the new Nightwish video.
Hmm.
Boom, Nightwish gets paid. That's their song. Um, and that third video I did was Nightwish's version of High Hopes by Pink Floyd. Um, it did over 7 million views.
Wow.
And yeah, that reaction did 7 million views. And um, to this day. And so far, according to my analytics, I have made Nightwish about $6,000 off that video. So,
I wasn't even
so
aware you were such a huge celebrity, to be honest. Look at
I
damn.
mean, I don't consider myself at all because
Hmm.
in the grand echelon, 15,000 subscribers isn't really that much. Now it is more than a lot of people, but
I was gonna
I'm
say like
shooting for,
nothing to sniff at. Like it is, this is like
no, but
that's a
I'm
great number.
shooting for
No, of course,
my
like
goal is,
million, 2 million. I'm
yeah,
guessing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
my goal is to use this for positive change.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
this is I want to I want to be able to go to a homeless shelter and say,
Hmm.
"Hey, here's $5,000 for whatever you need." I want to be able to be standing in line and see someone who's truly in need. Say it's a single mother, doesn't
Hmm.
have enough for diapers, to do that and not have to stress.
Yeah.
Because right now I get my pension, my disability
Hmm.
for this injury. It's not shit. By the time I pay my bills, I'm broke again.
Hmm.
Um, I I love seeing people doing positive stuff in the world.
Yeah.
And I want to do that. I want to work with Special Olympics. I want to work with St. Jude's. I want to work
Mhm.
with people that are truly putting their money where their mouth is, so to
Hmm.
speak.
No,
Um,
that's what I've always like had this conversation about with other people. If I had what I call a fuck you money, like like
yeah,
we're not talking about like 1 million, 2 million, because nowadays that's even
right.
nothing, really. But if you have like some sort of like
But it is
Zuckerberg
though.
money, right?
But
If
it
you have,
is though.
no,
That's
I
the
know, I
thing.
know,
People,
no, I know. But like if I had more money, like actually like
mhm,
I could live comfortably, my family lives comfortably, all that, right? Like, it'll be so fun for me just to go like GoFundMe pages and be like, oh yeah,
yeah,
because many Americans use it for medical bills. And be like, oh,
exactly. That's the exact thing.
yeah, they need 5,000 for this operation, for this child. Okay, 5,000, here you go, next. But I would like to do, but see, my thing is, I would like to do it anonymously. Like
Exactly.
I don't want it to be like my name attached to it or anything. I would just to be like, oh, somebody contributed like, 10,000 here, right? We don't know who that is. And then like,
Right.
maybe after I'm dead, that it would get revealed or something. Like something like that. I don't need like a pat on the back. Oh, you're doing great. No, just I
And
want to
the
do great for the sake of it, right? It's the same that's the thing. And to
yeah.
your point before, you mentioned something is interesting, and like you said, oh, who would be interested in watching old guy reacting to videos? And then, like, I could do better reactions. Isn't it great that because of the internet, you could actually prove that, prove yourself right, or oh no, prove yourself
It's
wrong, that,
yeah.
people are interested in, watching old guy reacting to music videos. It's
It
so
was
great.
so two things.
Hmm.
One, I don't care about the fame or anything
Yeah.
attached. It's a means to an end.
Yes.
You use it to generate more income
Hmm.
so that you can do more giving. Um, so I kind of have to be a glory hound a little bit. Um, it sucks because I very much would love to do like what you do, just to do it anonymously.
Hmm.
Keanu Reeves style almost.
Yes.
Keanu was infamous for just here, don't this I didn't do this.
Hmm. Yeah.
um, but to have that kind of fuck you money, so to
Yeah.
speak, you've got to generate that money. And you
Correct.
do that by doing outrageous stuff like what Mr. Beast does, what Logan Paul does, and all of that, and generating views on your channel.
Hmm.
Um, I guess it's the price you pay the devil for walking the highway to hell, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
Uh, that should be a saying. That's a cool saying. I just made that up. Um,
Trademark it, put it on a t-shirt, sell it.
yeah.
CJ.
In the words of Van Wilder, write that down.
Yes. Write it out, write it out. Nobody else touched
Um,
this. Nobody else uses this. Okay,
yeah.
this is CJ's.
Um, but yeah, I mean that's the goal of all
Hmm.
of this. Yeah, whether it's the music production, whether because I'm going to be producing artists, developing artists, we're going to be doing social media branding,
Hmm. Hmm.
all that kind of stuff. So I'm
Okay.
going to be a one-stop shop for anything related to music, books, movies, and pop culture, man. We're gonna,
Nice.
I like I said, I want to be the Mr. Beast of
If you just
the
leave me
music
the
and
movie
pop.
part, if you, I would just ask if you just leave me the movie part,
Oh,
portion,
it's, you
like a
come
tiny
along,
bit, like a tiny
along
bit.
for come along for the ride, bro. Be part
Nah,
of the
like
group. It's
to
gonna
be
take
fair,
more than one.
I was gonna say, to be fair, that's the great thing about internet. Just because let's say you actually succeed, right, and become Mr. Beast of music and pop culture and all that, that doesn't mean there's not gonna be space for anybody
That's
else. Because
and
internet
that's the
is
whole
not a
thing, bro.
finite. There's so many
People,
different YouTube channels.
yeah. Well, people need to understand too. Music, just like movies, everything else, it ain't a competition.
Yes.
There is room to work together. There is room to build each other up and
Mm-hmm.
still have your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're killing all your competition, then eventually you won't be the only one standing, and people are just gonna get sick of you
And it's
because there's
lonely
no
up there.
variety.
It is very
Like, look,
lonely up there once you reach
well,
some sort of
well,
top.
you know, think of it as food.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite food, maybe say lasagna.
Okay.
But you had this whole buffet of all this other food, and you start eliminating all the other foods. Eventually, you get down to where you only have lasagna.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. I love lasagna. Okay, is that going to hold true after a month? Is it going to hold true after 2 months? You're going to get sick of eating lasagna every
Yep.
single day.
Yep.
So you got to remember that, look, people are the same way. They want variety. And if you eliminate that variety, you turn yourself into the bad guy. You turn yourself into the
Mm-hmm.
criminal sort of speak, and that's not a good thing. Like, look, old saying, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar, and
Yeah.
you gotta just,
It reminds
you
me of
know,
that quote from The Dark Knight. You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That kind of thing.
that's yeah, yeah, exactly.
So let's,
You know,
let's all try not to live that long, but also let's not die as heroes. Like, something in between. Something in between.
forever if possible, but I
Yes.
know we can't. So hey,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
I I
I
love,
honestly wish you well on your journey, and I really hope
I
I'll see you there. Like, like my YouTube algorithm one day will pop up, hey, you might be interested in this dude, and I'll see your face, and that video would
look,
have like 3 million views.
I'll let you know, man.
All
I keep
right.
lists.
Oh, nice.
People I work with, notes. I don't forget.
Oh, damn.
So as I come up,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've got lists, and people, a boat rises to the level of the water it's in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So look, when I get to that point, if I eat, all the people that got me there, they're eating with me, you
Okay.
know. And
Okay.
that's the thing. Like, look, I'm not gonna say I'll make you a millionaire,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm gonna say, look, I'm gonna get in touch with you, and I'm gonna say, look, jump on this video. I got this idea. Do you want to take part in it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, may not make a ton of something, but it'll get you a little bit of something, and a little bit of something is still better than an empty plate.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
we just go from there, and hey, maybe it blows up, maybe it doesn't. If
Mm-hmm.
not, we do another one, and then we
Yeah.
do another one, and we do another one. And, Mr. Beast, for example, he's built an entire crew of guys that are loyal to him,
Mm-hmm.
that are, his operating crew. And that's what I plan on doing is having those people that, like I said, I know who was there from day one and along the way. I know who truly had my interest, and I
Mm-hmm.
know who, oh, I didn't like what he said, or I know, believe me,
Yeah.
I'm I'm a bad man when it comes to protecting what I do.
Okay.
Um, so hey, you treat me upright, I treat you upright, and I don't forget.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
you,
your long-term memory is good. It's short-term memory. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
and my
bad.
long term, that's the weirdest thing. I can draw you a floor plan of every single house I've ever been in, going back to when I was 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I was in that house for like 5 minutes, I can draw a floor plan of the house.
Mm-hmm.
You asked me what I had for breakfast yesterday, I'll literally have to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're telling me, hey, go to the store and grab a jug of milk.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I get to the store, I gotta call back to the house and be like, what did I come to the store for? Oh, milk. Yeah, okay, cool. But I mean, that's the craziest thing is, I can tell you what shoes I was wearing when 9/11 happened
Mm-hmm.
here. I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you I was at 318 Pine Street in Little Rock, Arkansas. We were painting a house. I had on white shoes, white painter pants, a black Pink Floyd shirt. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you minute details that should have long been gone.
Mm-hmm.
Instant recall. Ask me
Okay.
what I had for breakfast, though. I don't know.
Okay.
It's
I was gonna ask, but now you're mentioning it. I'm not gonna.
yeah, like truthfully, I haven't eaten breakfast yet.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, that's the type of
Hmm.
my memory recall, and this is why I have stacks of these notes, is because I write everything down so that I don't forget.
Sensible.
Um, and I've got stacks of, I go through these 3x5 index cards.
Hmm.
I mean, I should have stock in Post-it, really, because, they owe me
Hmm.
royalty checks for as much money as I spent on that damn thing. So,
Yeah. So
anyways, we didn't come here to talk about me. So,
no, we did come to talk about you, and I feel like I know exactly like or much more about what you're on about. So like, no,
mhm.
thank you for that. This has been like very intriguing look into who you are. But so we talked about like where you from just off the camera, and you mentioned you're in a Detroit area. Let's put it that way. So if I were to ask you now, hey, I'm coming there for a week. Where would you recommend me to go? Where would we go? Where would we eat? Is there anything in your area that's somehow interesting to see or fascinating to see, or you only see this in Detroit?
I don't know if it's 100% unique.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One of my favorite places here, I grew up right by it. It's about an hour and a half north of me. It's right by my grandpa's house, the farm I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
There was a town called Frankenmuth. It is known as Little Bavaria.
Oh,
The
okay.
entire town was created by German settlers, um, and the Zender family, essentially,
Mm-hmm.
to this day, still control much of the, business goings on.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a German themed town with restaurants, beer houses. Uh, s- I mean, it's a tourist trap,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
it's one of them places where you just walk through it and this place has homemade fudge, this place has homemade muffins, this place has coffee house, and then you have Zender's Bavarian dinners, which are an all-you-can-eat chicken dinner, seven-course German meal, and then you have the cheese house where it's the cheese factory. They make homemade cheese of every kind,
Okay.
and and then they have the brewery, which is a German brewery,
Mm-hmm.
and they have all of these places. And then at the very end of it, there's a place called Bronner's. We're going to tie this into a movie.
Okay. Okay.
Um, Bronner's is the world's largest Christmas store.
Ah. Okay.
It is I don't know what this converts to in your units, but it is an 11-acre
Mm-hmm.
Christmas store.
Wow.
Nothing but Christmas. Everything in the store is Christmas related.
Mm-hmm.
The movie tie-in is if you've seen the movie Home Alone,
Of course.
Jingle All the Way,
Yes.
Miracle on 54th Street,
Yes.
or, all of the Christmas decorations in those movies are all supplied by Bronner's.
Ah.
That's what
Okay.
Bronner's does.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
Christmas trees, the Christmas lights, the decorations, the ornaments, everything. Bronner's
Mm-hmm.
does it all. It is a ridiculous place, but it is awesome in the same sense of even at 50 years old, you walk into this place and you think, Jesus Christ, that's a 30-foot tall Santa.
Yeah.
That's I mean, there's all of this stuff,
Yeah.
and it brings out the child in you, man. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that there's all of this stuff in one place. And this store is one of the things that is sort of a talking point for them. The monthly electric bill for the store, because of all the lights, all of everything,
Mm-hmm.
is $165,000 a month
Jesus Christ.
for the electric bill.
Yeah.
I'm like, a month. So they're paying $3 million a year just for the light bill.
Wait, how did we get to
Just
3
for the
billion?
light bill.
Oh, 1,600. Oh, wait, 1,000. You said 1,600?
Well, no, 166,000.
166. Oh,
Yeah, so
okay, okay,
1.6. Well, not
okay.
quite 3 million,
Yeah,
but
almost three. Yeah, no, no.
two,
Okay, okay.
2
Uh,
point something.
yeah, yeah.
But that the
That's
low end.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's just the light bill. That's not
Mm-hmm.
labor. That's not none of the taxes or anything else. That's
Mm-hmm.
just to keep the lights on. That's how much shit they're selling
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
this store just Christmas.
Yeah.
No Halloween stuff, no 4th of July, none of that. It's all Christmas,
What
you
I find
know.
fascinating is like, so you live in Detroit or like close to Detroit, like Detroit
Yeah.
area. one of the most, to me, American cities, right? And then only a short while from you is this German-like city, and that
Yeah,
in the heart of it has the biggest Christmas tree store ever.
it's
That's
not
I
just a
find it
Christmas tree.
fascinating.
It's just a Christmas store. It's called
Yeah,
Bronner's Christmas Wonderland.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's completely insane, and
Mm-hmm.
but we also have Holland,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically built, after over. It's built by Dutch settlers, so it's very Dutch looking with the windmills and the tulips and all of that. And then we have Traverse City, which is way north, but that's Scandinavian, a lot of Scandinavian people, so it's very Swedish and Finnish looking up there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we have, dating back to the settler days when they came over and come through Canada and settled and traversed the country,
Mm-hmm.
they built their own little areas. And, Pennsylvania has a lot of Pennsylvania Dutch and,
Mm-hmm.
and German people. And we got the German over here and the Swedish people over here and the Dutch people over here. And,
Mm-hmm.
um, you know, below us, we have Amish. We have a ton of Amish,
Ah.
which is awesome. If you've
Mm-hmm.
never dealt with the Amish,
Nope, never.
most amazing people, um, but they are highly religious and very, very strict with their
I've heard.
lifestyle, man.
I've heard.
Um,
Yes.
so they don't like being photographed. They will talk to you. They'll do, they're very, very friendly people as long as you don't abuse their, self-being.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but boy, they can cook and they can bake. Like
Okay.
there's a restaurant about probably 2 hours south of me,
Mm-hmm.
Angola, Indiana, and the old ladies, it's Yoder's family restaurant, and them old women that cook in that kitchen out at Yoder's, you gain 50 pounds up in that boy. Like I mean, it ain't nothing processed, ain't nothing out of a box. Every
Mm-hmm.
single thing. Them old ladies are back there, they're baking that from scratch, handmade, like your
Mm-hmm.
great granny made it.
Yeah.
And it is stick to your ribs, old school biscuits, gravy, gravy as thick as, I mean, it's just crazy. And
Yeah.
it's so good
Okay.
that yeah, the American thing obviously is we're giant pigs and we love to eat, and we are. But it's because we have people like this that
Mm-hmm.
cook, man, and it's like, like, oh, these places are so good that,
It
you just,
sounds good, to be honest. It
oh,
sounds
it's,
very good.
I don't get there nearly as much as I would love to, and thank
Mm-hmm.
God, because I'd be 700 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's definitely, I mean, if you're ever over here and you're in, the Angola, Shipshewana, Indiana area, yeah, check out
Okay.
Yoder's.
Okay.
Can't
I
miss
will
it.
remember.
Big wood building, but awesome
Last
place.
last food question. Where do you,
Mhm.
obviously being living in Detroit area, where do you stand on the Chicago style pizza, the deep dish pizza?
I love Chicago style pizza, and we have a restaurant right where I live. It's
Hmm.
called Clavon's. Shout out to Clavon's. Um, they make some of the best Chicago style pizza you will ever taste outside of Chicago.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm not gonna say our Chicago style pizza is better than Chicago's, but
Hmm.
uh, for a tiny little country town near Detroit, uh, Clavon's has been voted the best pizza in my county for 15 years running. Um, Big, fat, thick Chicago style pizzas
Hmm.
about yay thick, loaded with everything, man. And oh, they're good. Like we
Okay.
eat it.
Okay.
Not as
Okay.
much as I want because they're expensive, but
I see. So how much is like one slice?
I don't think they sell it by the slice,
Oh,
but a
so how do they
whole,
sell it? So they sell the whole
the
thing.
whole, yeah, the whole thing. It's about 30 30
Oh,
American dollars.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
but I mean, it's loaded. You ain't getting, this thing comes out, it's every bit of 6 to 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Uh, so I mean, it ain't no
So that's like a lunch,
lightweight pizza
dinner.
like you get from Domino's.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's
you
your
know,
lunch,
it,
dinner, breakfast, another lunch, pretty
yeah,
much.
like it's,
Yeah.
it ain't no pizza that's the size of a paper plate and as thin as a paper plate. This is a big, thick pizza that's 6 to 8 inches thick and
Wow.
loaded with everything and weighs 5 to 7 pounds. And um, I mean, you eat for a minute on it. So
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
that's that's my favorite pizza place. And then there's another place here called Marco's. It's a big chain, but the guy
Mhm.
that owns this particular Marco's by me, he's an ex-Marine, and
Ah.
his quality is
Hmm.
what sets him apart from the other Marcos. Because I've been to the other Marcos, they suck. But this guy, because his quality is so clean all the time,
Hmm.
I mean, he has better ingredients, better everything, and his pizzas are just insanely good. I mean, for a fast food
Hmm.
per se, uh, Domino's, Little Caesars type of chain,
Yeah.
his pizzas are exceptional. And I
Okay.
tell him that all the time, and he's like, "Oh, I just make pizzas. I don't do anything special." And I'm like, "Okay, bro, like
Hmm.
fat guy here. I'm telling you, you hitting okay? Like,
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
know, you doing your thing, bro." So,
Oh, that sounds good. That like I
yeah.
would love to go. I've never been to United States at all.
Oh
So
wow.
I'm planning on to do some like big trip for like 3 weeks at least to visit a couple of
Yeah,
places,
awesome.
and like Chicago would probably be like number 4, 5, really. Like, where I would want to go. But obviously, like, in a perfect world, I would like to visit all 50 states, really, because
Yeah, I
like I
mean,
find it
and
fascinating.
yeah, and people have done it. People, it can be done.
Mhm.
It's going to be expensive,
I was gonna say the resources,
time
the
consuming.
money and time, resources,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, that's the thing. Like time, logistics, you got to plan it. But
Another thing
you know,
about like having if I were to have fuck you money, that'd be a great thing to do. Also, like actually traveling, be like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll just go this, there tomorrow. No biggie. I'll just do,
right?
next week I'll go, to this place. Yeah, it's fine. You know,
Exactly.
that'd be
And
kind of
that's the
cool.
thing with me. Like I'm planning a trip to the Philippines.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
I haven't been to the Philippines in 35 years. I have a history as a
Mm,
teenager. And I ain't been there in 35 years. And I'm interested in going back. And when I go back this time, I won't be 16 or 17 years old. I'll be able to travel all around and I'm just gonna I've already decided that look, I'm taking a tent, I'm taking some camping gear, I'm renting a bike,
hmm.
and we're
Hmm.
just gonna island hop because the Philippines is like 8,000 islands.
Yeah.
Obviously you can't do all 8,000 islands, but
Hmm.
the five big ones, we're just gonna kind of island hop for about 3 weeks, and when I get tired of moving, we'll throw a tent up and or grab a resort room or something and move on the next day. And I'm gonna check the place out because most amazing country in the world, man. The people there are the best. Like,
I was gonna say when you said you had a history there, I'm like, should I even ask? Because that sounded kind of ominous. I'm like, what? What does that
no,
mean?
so
Hmm.
um, my uncle was a Marine there in
Hmm.
Vietnam.
Hmm.
Um, Professional assassin, essentially. He was a Marine recon sniper. Um,
Mm.
but I joked that he was a professional assassin because essentially his job was, hey, get on this helicopter. We're gonna drop you in the jungle somewhere in this part of the world, and you're gonna go kill this person.
Yeah.
And he came back and he did it again, and he
Hmm.
came back and he did it again. Um, but in the process of that, he met his wife. She was Filipino.
Hmm.
And eventually, you I guess get tired of killing people or people trying to kill you.
I would hope so.
Um, so they bought a resort in
Hmm.
Subic Bay there, and he became an underwater photographer for National Geographic.
Wow.
And now he is certified as a shipwreck recovery specialist, underwater demolitions, deep, uh, deep water scuba diving. He does rescue operations and all of that. Um, but for many years, they owned that resort, and I spent summers as a teenager over there working
Hmm.
for them as a cook. Um,
That must have
so
been cool.
it was,
Hmm.
I've, the downside, it was during the time of the Marcos dictatorship.
Hmm.
So obviously you had to be on your P's and Q's because they were killing people,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know? Um, so, and they have short memories. You know,
Hmm.
his son is the current president.
Hmm.
And after they did all of that stuff and they exiled them and whatnot and whatnot. And then I guess about 3, 4 years ago, it come out, oh, well, Bong Bong's running for president. And I was like, that's what his daddy did? Oh, there's no way. Like, ain't no, they're not going to elect the son of Marcos.
Hmm.
They did. And I was like, y'all got some short memories. Because I promise you, a motherfucker like that operate in America or England or France, something like that, their son ain't getting elected. Like, I promise you, we ain't gonna. Margaret Thatcher's daughter runs for prime minister. I pretty much guarantee she ain't getting elected, okay? Like, the history is there. That's gonna be a hard road to fight.
Uh, Depends. In England, she might very well. Like,
Well,
where I live, Scotland, no
yeah,
chance. But in England, there are still some
but
people who
that's
crave for her.
but that's what I'm saying. Like the history is there. Like we remember,
Yes.
and over there it was like they just forgot what his dad did.
Hmm.
This man killed people. This man ran the sugar syndicate. He embezzled billions of dollars in the 1980s. That
Hmm.
would be equivalent to it'd be equivalent to like $500 billion dollars
Hmm.
by today's standards. This man embezzled all over the world. Still haven't found all the money. I mean, he's dead. The mom is hanging on because she's just evil. But and she scared me more than he ever did.
Hmm.
Like, let's say, oh, Marco Sr., he was the, no, like, look, he was the president. He was the dictator. He was, his name was on shit. But when he talked, he was delivering line.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
when Imelda talked, ooh, I mean, she reminded me of Margaret Thatcher in the
Uh-huh.
sense that there was no misinterpreting what she said. It
Hmm.
was direct to the point. It was cold as ice.
Hmm. Hmm.
And there was no,
Iron
oh,
Lady.
maybe she said this, maybe she said that. No, you knew what she meant.
Hmm.
She wasn't going to let you miss that point.
Hmm.
And you knew when Imelda spoke, you could see it in her eyes. The
Hmm.
coldness. Like, okay, this is the bitch calling the shots. Like this, his name might be on that paper, but it's coming from her. Okay. She knows where the bodies are.
Yeah.
Okay. And the fact that she's 98 and still walking around, still kicking, proves like, look, she's just too damn evil to die. Like, but she scared me way more than he ever did. Like I just, okay, he's a president. He's doing what presidents, politicians do, you know?
Anecdotally, I still remember when Margaret Thatcher died, I already was living in Scotland.
Yeah.
So here, I still vividly remember there was a pub. And, so first of all, the song from Wizard of Oz, Hey Ho, the Witch is Dead,
Yep.
like was like number 6 in the UK that week
Yeah.
because many people were requesting it. And a second, there was a pub, and not just one, that basically had a flyer, in their windows saying, Margaret Thatcher is dead. Come have a pint on us. It's free." Basically,
Mhm.
many people here were celebrating because many people
Yeah.
got shafted by her policies.
Oh yeah. I
And
mean, she was the
yeah,
Iron Lady, man. I
no,
mean,
she was. Hmm.
she was hardcore. Like I said, there was no when she spoke, there was no double entendre. You see so many politicians today, they'll try to walk that fine line between what
Yep.
they really mean and what people want them to say.
Hmm. Hmm.
She just didn't care. She was
Yeah.
like, look, this is happening.
Hmm.
Deal with it or not. It's happening, okay?
I
Like
see.
that's it. Like, so see you on Friday. And, I mean, that's just the way she was, man. And in
Hmm.
a way, it was kind of cool because it was such a departure from your typical
Hmm.
politician. But
Hmm.
at the same time, you definitely understood why people didn't like her because people don't like the truth. People don't like
Yeah.
that brutal reality
Correct.
of
Many
like,
people,
look,
yeah, many people tell you like, oh, be honest with me, and then you're honest with them, and they're like, oh, that was mean, and I'm like,
right. Like you got to understand this is politics, okay? This
yeah,
is not this ain't a schoolyard. We're not
mm-hmm,
playing dodgeball here. We're not playing basketball or, any of that crap. Like this is real life world level shit and
yep,
she knew how to play. Her and Reagan both. And I'm not saying they were good people, but I'm saying they were unflappable. It didn't matter
correct,
what you said to them. It didn't matter what you threw at them. It didn't stick. Reagan one of my greatest, funniest memories
Okay.
was after they tried to assassinate Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
Shot the man, you know,
Mm-hmm.
practically killed his Secret Service protection guy. 45 days after that assassination, he was in Germany
Mm-hmm.
giving a speech about the Berlin Wall coming down. He's giving the speech. There's balloons on this side of him. And two of the balloons, boom, boom. Reagan never flinched, looked to the side and goes, "You missed me," and then just kept on giving a speech.
I've seen that video. Yes, I
And
have
I was
seen the
like,
video. I'm like, yep,
that was, that man was unflappable, bro. Like, just balls the size of, I mean,
yep.
you don't see politicians like that these days.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not saying he was a good man, not endorsing his policies or anything, but the era of those Kennedy, Reagan, John Wayne type of characters, man, are, in the past. Now we're getting these
Interesting
psychopaths.
people. Yes.
Yeah. Now we're getting these psychopaths that, in we can't blame anyone but ourselves.
Ultimately,
You
yes.
because look, we'll start with the hot take thing, look,
We can say, okay, before that, we can save this.
yeah,
Before we get into politics, we can save this. We can quickly just do this or that. Well,
okay,
let's do
yeah,
something
yeah,
lighter
my
before.
bad, my bad.
No, it's
I'm
all right.
at,
It's all right, man.
I'm
It's all
jumping the
right.
shark, jumping the shark.
It's okay. No, but it's an interesting discussion. I'm definitely looking forward to having it because I think there will be some interesting debate. But before that, I'll give you two options and you'll tell me which one would you prefer and why.
hmm
So, CJ, TV shows or movies?
Probably do TV shows because
Hmm.
I've watched a lot more TV shows lately than movies. So,
Okay. 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 Tea or coffee?
tea. I drink a lot of cold tea. I love iced tea,
Oh, nice.
especially the Lipton Peach.
Hmm.
You'll see it on my floor over there. I have stacks of it. So,
Oh yeah, I can see the stacks. Obviously, the listeners
um,
cannot see that, but I'm like, oh yeah, there's a lot of
yeah,
stuff.
like,
There's a lot of it.
I have a 4 foot tall stack of the cases of it. So
Nice.
that's what we drink predominantly here, and I do have a terrible addiction to Mountain Dew as well.
I see.
Um,
I see.
I don't drink as much now as I used to, but
Hmm.
um, I still drink more than I should. Um,
Fair.
but
Yeah, I know. I
uh,
know.
you know, but yeah, tea,
Hmm.
tea. I'm not really a coffee drinker
Fair.
much at all. So,
That's fair. Money or free time?
mm,
I know.
I'd probably say money because with money comes free time.
Hmm.
Money buys you the ability to kind of
Oh,
dictate
yes, to outsource things
your,
you don't want to do to somebody
yeah,
else.
like, hey, you don't feel like doing this?
Hmm.
Get me a temp, get me this, we'll move this to Friday. You get that little bit of power and ability to shuffle stuff around. Whereas if you're constantly just trying to pay the piper, so to speak,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
you're never going to have that time to really just sit and
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
still. So
Fair.
yeah,
Honesty or other people's feelings?
always honesty. Always.
Nice.
I am infamously known for being an asshole because I don't I I try to let me I try to temper
Hmm.
what I say
Hmm.
to a certain point if I care about you.
Hmm.
But at the same time, look, I am a combination of Viking and Irish with Russian bloodline from the Bolsheviks. So um my heritage background, there
That's a
ain't a
wild
lot of
combo. That's a wild
yeah,
combo, I'll say.
there ain't a whole lot of you know
Yeah.
niceties involved in any of my heritage. So
Hmm.
um I very much tell it like it is. Like it's not that hard. I mean, I don't say anything wild or outlandish. It's just
Yeah.
like, look, sometimes you just got to deal with it. And
You need to cut through the chase.
yeah, like it's one of them things where, look, I ain't gonna beat around the bush and waste time
Hmm.
bullshitting somebody. I'm not gonna blow smoke up your ass.
Yeah.
If I don't think I can do the job, I'm gonna tell you get somebody who can. I don't think I can get done what you need done.
Hmm.
This person, I think this person can. Check them out. Um,
I see.
I ain't gonna take your money if I don't think I can deliver 110%.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I mean, my grandfather. two very strict rules. Number one, time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 15 minutes early, you're 15 minutes late.
Okay.
Always be early. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Never, ever, ever be late. Number two, he had a rule. If he paid you $20, he expected $20 of service.
Mm-hmm.
It was that simple. If you delivered that $20 of service for his $20 change, he would reward you with a great tip or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you fell below that, he was going to also let you know that, look, you didn't live up to the hype, step your game up.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but, we were very, we were raised on that of like, look, you know, uh, underestimate and overperform,
Yes.
you know, um, you know,
Mm-hmm.
always deliver more than you promise. And
Yes.
that's the way I operate. Like, look, I'm not saying everyone is built for every job. We're
Mm-hmm.
not.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what the world says politically, oh, anyone could do anything. No, they can't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not everyone's built to be a movie star. Not everyone's built to be a rock star. Not everyone's built to be a lawyer or a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us have to be ditch diggers. Some of us have to clean toilets.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way the world works.
And nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. So in the grand scheme of that, take what you do serious,
Mm-hmm.
do it well, and let people know that even in a worse situation, you can still smile and you can still treat people with dignity.
Yes.
And I don't consider anyone below me or above
Mm-hmm.
me. So
Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
No, I get you. I get you. Summer or winter?
Oh, definitely summer. I am not a winter person. The older I get,
Mm-hmm.
we're going through this brutal cold right now. I've got pneumonia, and
Mm-hmm.
every time I go outside, I was like, God, why did I move back to this godforsaken wasteland? I lived down south where it was warm for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And why did I move back to this godforsaken wasteland? But I mean, I love it up here, but the
Yeah.
winters really are,
Rough.
yeah, like it last week, it was like, it would have been the equivalent over there of like 35 below zero here.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just brutal cold. It was so damn cold, the air in my tire, like literally the seal around the rim, it got
Mm-hmm.
so cold that the air just sucked itself in and the tire almost came off the rim. And I'm like, okay, that's cold, bro. Like when your tires just start deflating, like your tires
Yeah.
are saying, um, so yeah, it's
Summer all the
I
way.
people ask me why you going to the Philippines?
Weather. Yep. Yep.
Have you lived here?
Mm-hmm.
It is 75 year round over there with beaches and beautiful women, bro.
What's not to love?
You know, and it's cheap as hell to live there. Like the cost of living in the Philippines is astronomically low. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Summer all the way.
that's
Hear you
yeah,
loud and clear.
yeah.
Uh, Probably the most important question of all: ninjas or pirates?
Mm,
Mm.
I gotta go ninjas. I love pirates.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Love history.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a martial arts fanatic, and
Ah, okay.
I love ninja movies. I love
Mm-hmm.
movies with in it. So,
Yes.
um, and I love Asian culture. I
Okay.
really have I won't call it an obsession, but I have an amazing respect
Mm-hmm.
for Chinese and Japanese, Filipino, Indian,
Yeah. Yeah.
Pakistani culture because it's, over there, it's all like this,
Mm-hmm.
but yet they've managed to hold on to their individual histories and heritages
Mm-hmm.
while still being proximity to each other. And again, the food, man, like fat
Yeah.
boy, fat boy speaking. Whether you're in India, whether you're in Pakistan, whether you're in the Philippines, China, Japan, Singapore,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
that's some crazy mad food, okay? Like, uh, depending on what your tastes are,
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, a fat boy can be real happy over there. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's ninjas.
Nice. As somebody who had the pleasure to travel to Singapore and India, for a bit of work, yeah, the food in both places amazing. So
Yeah.
can confirm.
India was a bit overwhelming for me a little bit
Okay.
when I went.
Hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of like massive crowds. Um, so I
Where did you
definitely
go?
had, I was in, uh, not Bombay. Hold on.
That's all right. That's okay. Take your time. Well,
Yeah, I'm,
Bombay is in India, so
yeah, but it wasn't Bombay.
okay.
Um, it was the northern part. It was, Gujarat, Gujarat. Sorry,
Okay.
that's what it was.
Okay. Nice.
Um,
Nice.
we were I was with my buddies from Pakistan. They have a band over there, and we were
Cool.
doing it. So we were kind of doing a little bit of a tour.
Hmm. Yeah.
From we were going from Islamabad to Gujarat, and then back, kind of circle back around.
Hmm.
Um, they have a thrash metal band, which is kind of hilarious in the
Hmm.
terms of, you don't normally hear the words thrash metal in Pakistan put together that much, but they're really, really amazing. So we were just kind of doing a small thing, and
Yeah.
totally overwhelming. Amazing people though. I
Hmm.
love the people. I love the fact that they can drive like maniacs, man. They
Oh, they
just
do. They do.
and I'm like, yeah, that would be like a 386 car pileup in America, like y'all doing it like stunt drivers, man, over there. And over here, it'd be like, yeah, that's gonna take about 7.5 days to clear,
The
But
way they navigate traffic to like a millimeter precision, it's
yeah,
insane. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
and also, the klaxon, or like I don't know how you call it in America. It's a very important tool. Like your horn. It's
yeah,
very important. Like basically, if your car horn does not work, you actually don't go to the traffic because it's insanely popular way to travel. And
we
yeah,
have to be careful with car horns over here because,
oh
you
yeah,
know, we have guns and people will shoot at you. So, like that's one of the downsides of America is I don't
hmm
have a problem with guns. I'm very pro
hmm
Second Amendment, but I'm
yeah,
also at the same time like, look, if you're gonna own a gun, use your fucking brain and just don't just randomly shooting at people just because they honk your damn horn. Like
correct,
you are the reason that you are the person who should not have the gun. Like you
yes,
will be the one I'll say no gun for you. Like
yeah,
look,
no soup for
if
you.
you, yeah, it's with great power comes great responsibility, obviously.
Hmm.
So again, you got to that's you sign up for that. If you're gonna
Hmm.
own a gun, if you're irresponsible,
Hmm.
and I call people. I called a very good friend out yesterday who he's a CPL, certified pistol license, carries a gun all the time.
Hmm.
Cool. He let some woman who came into his barber shop. Oh, I want to check your gun out, and he hands it to her, and I'm like, bro, the fuck are you doing?
What?
What do you mean? She's just checking it out. You know that's a criminal offense.
Hmm.
What do you mean? She's not taking it. Doesn't matter. Under Michigan Code of Law 285.4
Hmm.
that pistol can only be handled by the person it's registered to.
Hmm.
No one else can touch that gun other than another police officer or law enforcement personnel.
Hmm.
The fact that you handed her that gun, you just committed a felony.
Yep.
Well, you're kind of being an asshole about it. Okay, fuck around and go to prison then, dumbass. Like, come on, bro. Like, look, if you're gonna have that goddamn thing, act like you know what the fuck you're doing, Like, you don't just be handing that shit to random people. Like, you know who the she is. You handing her a gun, she can turn around. Look, you watch the news, bro?
Hmm.
Like, come on, bro. Like,
Especially in
I'm mad,
America.
but it's just one of them things. Like, it's no different than being a parent. It's no
Hmm.
different than owning a business.
Yeah.
You got to take the shit serious. You got to be responsible and know the laws and the rules. You can't say, well, I didn't know.
Hmm.
Look,
Hmm.
ignorance of the law is not a defense. It's not.
Yeah.
If you own a gun in America and you commit a crime, you can't go to court and say, oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I didn't know.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
sorry. Information was available. You should have read it
Correct.
or
Correct.
taken a better instruction course or whatever. But,
Hmm.
you know, I mean, sure, it's probably the same over there. Our law system is based on your law system, so
To an
you
extent,
know,
yes, but I think you guys have
yeah.
changed it so many times and
Oh,
like
I know.
and so
No, we won't
often.
even get into that. That'll be 7 days worth of shows.
But I was just gonna say this. I think this has been the longest Ninja Spiders response I had so far. So thank you for that. We went quite a few places there, which I do
Yeah,
appreciate. By the way, I genuinely do appreciate. Like I do like how
yeah,
you one thing leads to another, and then that thing leads to another, and
yeah.
we suddenly talk to about like a thing D, and I'm like, okay,
I,
I like it.
I'm like that. What is that thing? A mere rat or squirrel? That little thing? Uh, I'm like that dumb thing from Ice Age, chasing a
Oh, the
chasing a duck.
squirrel. Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
is it a squirrel, meerkat, whatever the hell it is?
I
Yeah, I'm
always thought
like
it was a
that.
squirrel.
Um, I'm very random, bro. So,
That's fine. That's fine. Last question: free will or
mhm.
destiny?
Oh, absolutely free will.
Of
Um,
course.
I mean, I do believe we have a destiny per se,
Okay.
but we definitely have to have free will to,
So to an
those things.
extent,
Yeah.
you feel like your life is predetermined to an extent, but you do have a free will to
And
do whatever you want
I,
within that predetermination.
without getting overly religious,
Okay.
um, I believe God has a plan for
Cool.
everybody.
Hmm.
But again, biblically, free will. Like, look, God has an end goal. Whether you get to that end goal determines whether you're here or whether you're there, biblically. And like I said, without getting overly religious, because I know not everyone's religious, but um,
That's fine.
and I respect that.
Hmm.
But you know,
Hmm.
hey, end goal. If you end up over here
Hmm.
or you end up over here, you did that. It wasn't anything that anyone else did. You
Yeah.
know, life has consequences all the time.
100%.
So,
100%.
I tell people all the time here, I have free speech to say whatever I want. You absolutely do. But that free speech comes with consequences, bro.
Yes.
You say something racist or ignorant, you getting fired.
Hmm.
Deal with it. I mean, those are the consequences of that thing. You have the Second Amendment. You have an absolute right to carry a weapon. If you illegally shoot someone with it, prison.
Yes.
Or you may end up dead if they shoot back. You have a right to this and this and this. But again, everything is a consequence attached to that, good or bad.
I think many
And you
people
have
forget
to
the
know that.
rights come with, consequences and also responsibilities. Like, for example, like I heard it described the best. You have a right to swing your fists around, but your right
Mhm.
ends where my face begins. And that's the
Well,
thing when many people don't kind of have forgotten over the past, I think, 20 years or so.
yeah.
Like, because they always scream, my freedom, my freedom. Well, your freedom has, there is a limitation to freedom, any, period. If you want to,
And
if you want to live properly, quote unquote free, you need to move into the jungle, really. And
well,
then you would
you
probably
know,
be dead within a week.
and the thing is too is sadly the internet has created a entire generation of shadow keyboard warriors.
Hmm.
Back growing up in my age, sure you could swing your hands around.
Hmm.
We were swinging back,
Hmm.
and last man standing walks away.
Hmm.
You don't see that today because kids just ain't built like that.
Hmm.
But back in the day, you had a whole generation of people like Vinnie Jones running around that. Sure, you could try to punch someone, but you might run into a Vinnie Jones or a Jason Statham or
Oh yeah.
somebody like that kick your ass right back. So you better be careful where you were swinging those hands, because again, consequences. Um, like, look, you ain't always gonna be the biggest bear in the fight. And I found out. I mean, a couple. Well, I found out in high school. I mean, I took
Hmm.
on what I thought was this kid was 4 inches shorter, 50 pounds lighter than me.
Hmm.
So I'll throw him like a lawn dart. Walked outside, didn't realize he was a 4 times Golden Glove champion, had 122 amateur fights, and he'd won every single one of them by knockout.
Hmm.
I made the mistake of letting that little bastard walk out the door first. And when he walked out that door and turned around, when I come out that door, he used my face as a speed bag, bro. He hit me
Ooh.
about 30 times before I even got my hands up. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute, time out, time out. And he was like, what do you mean, time out? Bro, at least let me get my damn hands up. Like, You over here like fucking Mike Tyson, just
Yeah.
like what the fuck, bro? Like, but I was like, okay, you know what? We're good, bro. Like, little guy wins a fight today, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and but it taught me respect. You know, it
Hmm.
taught me that sometimes, you know,
You win
Grandpa
some, you
used to
lose some.
say, yeah, Grandpa, you know, again, an old saying, don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
you know, so yeah, that's how we're gonna go with that.
Or was it Mike Tyson who said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the
Get punched
face?
in the mouth, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or yeah.
And that's
Yep.
100% it right there. Like
Yep.
100% it.
Oh,
Um,
all right, and you hinted at your hot take, so let's hear it.
First one I answer musically,
Okay.
Eminem, most overrated rapper of all time.
Eminem. All right. Why? Tell me.
As a Detroit boy,
Okay.
as a pop culture expert,
Hmm.
Eminem is not the greatest rapper of all time. He's not even the greatest rapper from Detroit.
Okay.
Okay.
So who would you put into that conversation then?
Uh, there are three main rappers here. Number one, everything M has is should be credited to Proof.
Hmm.
If Proof doesn't die, Proof is, you know,
Hmm.
Proof created Eminem, period. He taught him how to rap, taught him everything he knows. Everything M does is because of Proof.
Okay.
So let's establish that. But currently, right now, there are three rappers in this town that I think straight up in a battle would bury.
Hmm.
And one is a dude named Aztec the Barfly. He's a Persian rapper. I think he's Palestinian.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, well, I guess Persian isn't the right word. I think he's Palestinian or somewhere over there.
Okay.
Um, but he's just a assassin with words.
Hmm.
Another one is this dude named Bang Belushi. Bang is hilarious
Hmm.
and his ability to use comedy with his wordplay makes him not only dangerous but hilarious.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, you know, the third one is a guy named Tone Money. Tone Money, he's an old school dude. He's what's known as a trap
Hmm.
rapper. Um, but Tone is deceptive. Like Tone is he's one of them dudes you see him, he kind of looks like the pimp type of dude,
Hmm.
but his wordplay is it's surgical, man. Like he says stuff and you don't catch it on the first pass, and then you listen to it a second time and you're like, wait, there, oh man, I just called that. That was slick.
Hmm.
So those are those three main guys, and then Royce the 5'9". Everybody knows Royce. That's M's boy. But I think Royce is the best rapper in Detroit.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
Royce is just he's phenomenal.
I'll be
Um,
honest, I cannot say I've heard of any of those gentlemen. So like
that's
I
because
cannot.
they're mostly local
Yeah. Yeah.
legends.
Yeah.
Um, but
So
yeah,
let me
they're
tell you, okay, let me ask you a better question then. What makes Eminem in your eyes bad? Or would you say
I
he's
don't I don't think he's bad.
okay? So
I
you would
think
say
he's
overrated.
yeah, like
Okay.
his rhymes to me are like he sounds like he's rhyming a Dick and Jane book. Like he's just rhyming words for the sake of rhyming words.
Okay.
And he could do it really super fast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, that was a cute gimmick in the beginning, but now everybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not special. It's, I mean, yes, I give respect where respect is due. Like,
Mm-hmm.
look, I'm monster rapper, tens of millions of sales, this, that, and the other thing. So,
Oscar.
respect. But I will never intentionally say, hey, let's listen to Eminem.
Okay. Okay.
Not happening. It's just not. Um,
But
there's so
wouldn't
many other people.
yeah, no, I understand. My question is, as a person who doesn't deal with rap or doesn't listen to rap as much, wouldn't
Mhm.
like you said, oh yeah, everybody does this nowadays, so that it's nothing special. But isn't the point that he kind of established that as, that's why everybody
He
does it
made it,
nowadays?
he didn't create it or
No,
establish
like
it.
I'm
He
not saying
made
okay,
it
I'm not
popular
saying
for white guys. He
maybe I
made
was
it
gonna
popular
say
for white guys.
okay, he made it popular. Okay, maybe that's okay, better phrasing. He no, yeah, he didn't create it.
He he
I
made it he
popular.
made it cool for the white boys. Let's
Yes.
put it down. He
Mm-hmm.
made it cool for the white boys. So
Mm-hmm.
um Because before that, Tech Nine was doing it, Twista was doing it, Busta Rhymes was doing it.
Hmm.
Um, all them guys, they were well established.
Okay.
I've just made it cool for the white boys to do.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so
I,
it's all
see, again, I listen to music, but I don't have nearly enough knowledge about music, especially
I
rap music, to challenge you anything meaningfully on that. So I'll
I
I like Eminem. I don't think he is my favorite artist, but I kind of like him. And again, as you said, I respect what he managed to achieve. You
yeah,
know, I what like. First rapper ever to win an Academy Award. Not a small feat. That's not a small feat. So
yeah.
like I respect.
Music is one of them things, man, where even if I don't like it,
Hmm.
I'm going to give respect where respect is due. I'm
Yes.
not a Rolling Stones fan.
Okay.
Honestly, there's nothing about the Rolling Stones that I give two craps about.
Yeah.
But 70 years as a band is 70 years as a band.
Hmm.
Dozens and dozens and dozens of records,
Hmm.
world tours after world tours, still out there killing it. Jagger's still out there being Jagger.
Yes.
So you know what? Who am I to whatever? Not a fan of Taylor Swift,
Hmm.
but I don't have $1 billion
Empire.
tour.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hey, congrats, Taylor. Not gonna listen to your music, but $1 billion is $1 billion, bro. Like, I don't have $1 billion, so I'm gonna over here and I'm gonna shut the fuck up and do my thing, until I get to that level, and then we can talk about
To you,
whatever. So,
Yeah, to your point about the Rolling Stones, I've always thought about it like this about Beatles, right? Like I because I hear many people nowadays feel like, oh, Beatles are not that great. Beatles were not that great, and I'm like, I think I think when you're saying this, you're kind of missing the bigger picture. Like it's not about like they are not great by today's standards or something, or they genuinely did establish so many things. There are
mhm,
and because of it, if it wasn't for Beatles, yeah, there would have been a different band. But like, would there have been like this boy band, this boy band, this boy band? Like they've influenced pop culture like in not many groups after. Like Rolling Stones would probably be
right.
definitely next to them on that kind of
Well, that's what
pedestal
I'm
where it's
saying.
like
Like, I'm not taking
hmm
any shine away from them.
yes,
Obviously,
yes, hmm
Stones are the Stones, man. Like,
yeah.
they're massive and they've earned their
It's
respect.
almost a term.
It's
It's
not
almost
somebody
like
I'm going to turn on
yeah.
respectively.
It's almost like a term nowadays. It's almost like, it's not even a group name anymore. Everybody know if you say the Rolling Stones or the Beatles, everybody in the world knows, oh, you're talking about a group. Nobody's like questioning, what do you mean Beatles? Like, the kind you find in the woods? No, most people wouldn't say that. It would have, oh yeah,
Yeah,
the group I don't listen to. Yes, I know of them. And that's the
yeah,
point, really.
right. And that's the thing. Like,
Hmm.
again, disrespect where respect
Hmm.
is due. Like, I'm not going to listen to it personally, but hey, if that's your
Fair.
thing, cool.
Yeah,
There's hundreds of other bands that I will listen to in its place.
correct.
So, I'll turn on Elton John. I'll turn on Slade or Sweet or uh,
Judas Priest.
Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd's my favorite band of all
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So, Floyd is going to be my number one go-to almost always.
Nice.
Or Dire Straits, Mark Knopfler, huge, or Gary Moore. Gary
Hmm.
Moore.
Okay, so let's hear your political hot take then.
So I am not a, I am not left. I am not right. I'm very center of the road.
Hmm.
But my political hot take is, look, Trump won. Get over it. We'll survive.
Hmm.
Survived Reagan, Thatcher, dozens of other crazy people from all over the world. We'll survive or we won't. In the meantime, just be a good person.
Yeah.
Like, ignore the hype, ignore the bullshit. Goodness, how do I put this? It all starts with you.
Hmm.
How you act towards other people dictates your life.
Hmm.
So if you're a miserable son of a bitch, you're gonna have a miserable life. But if
Yeah.
you go out into the world and you put good into the world, you're gonna get good back.
Hmm.
It's that simple. Whatever Trump does, that's only gonna affect you in a small way.
Yeah.
And no offense to the British folks, but you don't know anything more about American politics than we know about your politics. So seeing my British friends insult Trump in the most insane ways is kind of like, okay, your prime minister right now ain't exactly brightest shade of brown in the box, so to speak, right now. Like
Hmm.
he's got his own problems, bro. So instead of worrying about our battle over here, you might want to figure out what this idiot's doing because he's
Yeah.
on his way out the door, and you're gonna have the third prime minister in less than what, 2 years or something. Um,
I didn't know you were such a big, not hater, but like you were not a big fan of Keir Starmer. Like we just elected him
I mean,
not a
I
few
I
months
don't
ago.
I don't know that much about him other than the
Mm.
fact that, he's embattled and a lot of people don't like him and he's struggling and people are demanding him to be replaced and
Like,
whatnot.
look,
So
I'll say this. Okay. This is where I can actually meaningfully add something to this conversation. So let's go. First of all, with the Keir Starmer, I think that's just total bullshit. Like in a sense where we've had, like we as a UK, we have had the Tories, aka Conservatives, in power for 14 years. And
right,
they messed up a lot of shit here, including NHS, which is
right.
the health, you know,
Hmm.
and all that stuff. So, and then we predominantly vote for this guy, and then he doesn't fix anything in 4 months, therefore he needs to resign. I'm like, the fuck? What the
Right.
actual fuck? You
It's
destroyed this
politics,
country in
bro.
14 years. You have like they had several ministers, prime ministers that ruled even without proper elections because they were just, oh yeah, I resigned, therefore we need to put this one into power. And they resigned after because they didn't know what to do. And I'm like,
Right.
so you get several choices, you get several fucking elections, and even minus the elections, you get all the choices. But after, there's a landslide, like no questions asked,
Right.
landslide, and after 4 months, nothing, things are slowly turning back, but or slowly getting better, but it's very slow. Oh yeah, and our guy definitely would have helped this time. So you know what, fuck you and resign. I'm like, what the actual fuck? That's
Yeah.
not how
It's
this works.
it,
Like,
it's it's politics, bro. It's always gonna be
I know, but also like,
crazy,
and
but
and with the Trump specifically, like I understand, like hope for the best, expect the worst, right? I do understand that, but this second term, I only in what he's done in the last week alone, it shows that, yeah, I don't think you guys are properly ready because last time he had much more obstacles in his way. This time, Republicans run everything, every single
I, I
fucking
think
thing.
I think he's gonna surprise people. I give him a little bit of
Oh,
time. I
unfortunately,
think he's gonna.
surprise in a bad way. I think, like,
I don't think it's gonna be as bad as we're already seeing prices go down. We're already seeing,
really?
yeah, the gas is starting to come down.
But
Grocery
that's not
prices
Trump,
come down
though.
a little bit.
That's not Trump.
It's it
That's
partially be, it is a little bit. There's I know obviously there's a ton of dynamics that go into it,
Mhm.
without getting long-winded.
Yeah.
But this is going to, and if he pulls off what he's planning, and I don't think he will, but if he pulls off eliminating the tax system and replacing it with a tariff system, it will literally free up hundreds of billions of dollars for people in this country. It will.
I don't think that's gonna happen. Well, no. Look, it will
I, I,
happen.
I I don't see it happening, but it would be the largest shock to the system. And, feasibly, the numbers are there. I mean, if you look at A and B,
Mhm.
it's not like, oh, well, we're just going to do this. And no, it's there, but it's tricky. Obviously,
I
you're
think we
going
are
to have
talking about different numbers because I think what you guys proposing or what he's proposing is basically to cut all the like income taxes and have one unified one.
right,
However, however, there have been many studies that shown yet again who would be the most fucked on those would be people on like below 100,000, 200,000 a year. So yet again, he wouldn't help, and he's done it in his first term. He wouldn't have helped the poorest as much as he would have helped his richest of friends who are already getting another tax cuts. Not only during his first term, they've received massive tax cuts. Now they are doing it again. And I'm like, and like it's the same like the trickle down economy with Reagan. Like, yes, if that worked, it would have been awesome. And in theory, it sounds great. But in reality is if if rich men nowadays, tend to keep their money, unfortunately, most of them are not, inclined to spread it around, bro. Just trickle it down, bro. No, they gonna buy more stocks. They gonna buy more shares. They gonna invest more into having the biggest rocket to go to Mars and or to be the first to conquer fucking Jupiter for all I care. I don't know.
But
And
you
it's
also
like,
got to take into account that times are changing, dude. A lot of
oh
people
no,
are
yeah.
becoming influencers. A lot of people are side hustles and creating stuff that they're not tied to corporations now.
But
And
why is that happening? Like because again, like nothing happens in a like nothing happens in a vacuum, right? So
right.
like and America definitely has a hustle culture. I know about this, even though I don't live there. But I talk to people from America.
Mm.
See like many YouTube videos on YouTube. And it got me thinking, why? And like the answer is quite simple because nowadays many people cannot fucking get by in America from a single salary. If you're a school teacher, you're like you're happy and you're making meets ends. You're happy, but most people are not. So most people are genuinely not, and that's why there's a hustle culture. That's why you see
Because
teachers and
we've
like nurses to have like being delivery drivers. I feel like it's a celebration of, oh yeah, we cannot survive on one wage, so therefore we need to get a. And I think many of people would genuinely be much happier if they got an, raise in their normal job, so they don't have to struggle over the weekends and be a fucking delivery drivers. Like, that's what, and I think again, nothing happens in a vacuum. And what Donald does, like he convinced many regular folks that he's in their corner, but then he actually does the opposite. And when people point it out, it's like, oh no, that's fake news. Oh no, that's not how it is. And I'm
I
like,
hate that term.
yeah, me too. But I'm like, but it is. Look at how just now, how much profits, like there was just a report now, how much millions of profits Facebook had, like Meta, Alphabet,
Yeah.
all those corporations, and how much income tax in America they've paid. Most of them, big old zero. And that's why he had them all on his inauguration. Mark Zuckerberg, obviously Elon, obviously, duh.
Oh, believe me,
Jeff Bezos.
Zuckerberg was not for Trump at all. Like Zuckerberg
Well,
is
now he is.
Elon was.
Now
Elon
he
was.
is. Now, no, no, no,
Well,
no. But it's the thing. Now he is, and now they're
well,
all
yeah,
bending the knee. They are bending the
because
knee.
because they know that look,
So,
they have
so
to or
they've created
coming.
so. And yet again, this is the kind of paradox, isn't it? Because he's always like Trump is always like, I'm gonna fight for you. I'm gonna fight for you. I'm gonna fight for you.
Yeah.
And then he has literal
It's
oligarchs at his like inauguration where they're bending the knee, and then they are slowly shifting. They're removing protection for LGBT people, and they are doing this and they are doing this. Actually doing it, not people like, oh, you're scaring people. No, they actually like Google has removed their policy about LGBT people, and Amazon did the same thing day after the inauguration. How funny! That's such a big coincidence.
it's I hate the fact one of the things I really truly hate about our political system
Tell
is
me.
we have locked ourselves into a two-party system here.
Yes, unfortunately, that's a
And
problem.
I if I were to ever have that kind of
Hmm.
power,
Yeah.
it would absolutely be my I've preached this since I
Hmm.
was barely old enough to understand politics. It's like, look,
Hmm. Hmm.
I would make a law to eliminate political parties. Like, look, you have to run on the sole basis of your name and your record. What you do speaks for you, not
Hmm.
Republican,
Hmm.
not Democrat, not Green Party, not blah, 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 blah. No money coming from corporations, no money coming from all of these places. Like, look,
I don't think
you're
I
going to
know what
earn
you
your way.
mean. Yeah.
You know, and I realize that's a huge, huge push, and that's never going to happen. But
No, yeah.
the fact that we've basically made it impossible for anyone that's not tied to the Republican or the Democrat Party to
Yes.
win in this country
It's
is
mad.
so asinine. That's why
Yes.
I said we've turn into a party of psychopaths on both sides.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
because you can't convince me for the last two elections. You can't convince me Trump is the best the Republicans can do. And you sure as hell ain't gonna convince me Joe Biden
Yeah.
and Kamala was the best that the Democrats could do. Okay, like it's just not.
Hmm.
And
I would agree
now,
to that. I'll agree to
and
that.
now we're talking about we're gonna push the envelope. Now, The Rock talking about running for president. Uh, uh, Alice Cooper is talking about running for president. And I know, oh, it's tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Is it? Because 8 years ago, we thought it was tongue in cheek that Trump was running for president. And
Look at
you
how
know,
that
if,
worked out.
but I'm saying if The
Yeah.
Rock ran for president,
Like all I'm saying, look,
some
I would
motherfuckers would vote for The Rock. Okay, like
100%. Oh no, 100%. I
you know what
I
I'm saying? So like I don't know, man. Like it's just
I
I've
think
kind of
look,
lost my faith in
yeah,
oh
I get you. No, no, I get you. And I'll say two things, right? First things, like like how your system obviously is not the greatest,
right.
but I think only if you were to implement two changes, it could reap benefits fairly soon. First change, and I don't know how this is still legal and allowed and encouraged. You shouldn't be able to finance a politician, like period, or
100%.
or introduce a law like in Australia has. Maximum amount you can contribute to any politician campaign is 20,000 or 10,000, whatever.
Shouldn't even be that high.
Minuscule amount, so billionaires do not enter and they elect somebody like puppet, like Elon has his own puppet. Let's call it as it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the second point,
No,
when he said the like let's abolish parties and let's get somebody else a chance, right? I don't even think we need to go that far. I was talking to Brian about this, Larson, who is quite pro-Trump, so we don't obviously see eye to eye there. But he
okay.
also said the two-party system, will destroy it. And I said, look, I think America is due for many European countries here have when it comes to your elections. So first of all, electoral college fucking bin that bullshit. That's bullshit and it's been bullshit for such a long time. Let's bin it. And for you would should have what we have here, most countries have here. Two rounds. You have as
Yes.
many candidates as you want in a first round. So like I think most countries
Yeah.
have if you
We're and we're
collect
we have places here that are going to that now,
yeah.
and it's starting to become a more popular idea, like a two-tier system, or
Yes.
I think it's called the two-tier voting thing, um, which makes
But it's
sense to a
open
certain
to
point.
public. It's open to public.
Okay.
No, 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 the
Yeah.
politicians, right? So, and this is my entire point. So, it would obviously have to rework the entire system, meaning you would have a first round, and anybody who can collect, let's say, 100,000 signatures that people want 100,000 people to run this person, they'll run. Doesn't matter the party. So, like, you can have 10 candidates, 20 candidates, 50 for whatever, right?
Right.
And it's the first round. Everybody should get that day or two off. There should be a holiday, really, so
Right.
as much people as possible can fucking go out and vote for. And again, it's a first round. You go with your heart. Doesn't matter if the Democrat, Republican, fucking Green, whatever. Doesn't matter.
Right.
And then, unless somebody wins with majority of like 60%, it goes down to the two people who receive the most votes out of the first round. And
Mhm.
those, a week after, you have a second round. And there is no third party option. There is no write your own candidate option. No, you had a first round. Fuck you. It's A,
Right.
it's B. There is no party. There is no third choice. If you want a third choice, you had a first round, stay home.
Right.
You don't bullshit about these choices. And you go back and fucking vote, okay, lesser of two evils. And I think that would be an actual change possible. The question
I,
is, I cannot see that
you know,
happening because obviously that would have to, America would have to radically redo how they've done things for a while. And given the
right.
things like guns and Second Amendment, that's not gonna happen anytime soon.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a huge push. I mean, it really
Yes.
is one of them things that realistically
Hmm.
you can philosophize or you can talk philosophy about it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
brain's not braining today, but it's really just a lot of talk. And
Yeah.
um, You
But
know, the
eventually,
yeah,
something, the system has to change. Like electoral college should have been abolished a long time ago, and like
I,
then it
I
should have
I
been
don't think it should be abolished. I think it needs to be changed. I think it
as
needs to
to
be updated and modernized.
like how would you modernize it?
So my idea,
Hmm.
um, because of people will say land doesn't vote, but it does because people still live there. And why should someone in Los Angeles or New York, why should they get to dictate how people in Kansas or Nebraska? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I trying to understand it, but like it
so,
doesn't make sense.
okay,
They do
so,
not. Like they
okay,
do
okay,
not.
but it, all right,
Because then
try to
you have
explain
the
this
otherwise
without.
then you have the
So,
other problem where
so,
people that that have 100,000 people who in most countries that's like a tiny city, not a fucking state,
so
have too much
here's the
power.
thing. So here's the thing. This is where people kind of miss the plot a little bit or lose the plot.
Hmm.
You gotta, in your brain, you gotta remember that,
Hmm.
okay, you guys are looking at it from the aspect of England, France, Portugal, Spain,
Hmm. Hmm.
Germany.
Yeah.
You guys have entire countries that are
Yes.
smaller
Correct.
than our states.
Correct.
We have 50 states in an area
Hmm.
that comprise. So we're not homogenous. The South is
Yes.
not like
Yes.
the upper East Coast. It is not like California. It is not like the
Hmm.
Midwest. It is not like the plains up the top. These are all completely different groups of people who have different lifestyles. Some are
Hmm. Of
ranchers,
course.
some are industrial people, some are fishermen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a New York City banker who doesn't know anything about ranching, who doesn't know anything about shrimp fishing, shouldn't be making rules for
Hmm.
how they get to live past a certain point.
No, but
Yes, you
that's why
can't.
you have the state laws, right? But that's why you
Well,
do
I
have the
mean,
state
right, and I agree.
laws.
State laws, you can't overfish, common sense
Mm,
shit.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But again, if you go with just the majority vote,
Hmm.
then the big city is always going to outvote the entire rest of the country. Three cities in this country, Chicago, New York, and LA, could
Hmm.
completely outvote everyone else in this country. So no one else would even have a say. It would
But
always be what those three cities say.
then yet again, that's not exactly true, is it? Because in California, there's what? If you look at the numbers in California from Electoral College, there's a significant chunk of Republicans. Not the entire California is Democratic, in the
Well,
same way
and
Texas,
that's the other part of the equation is when you look not just in California,
Hmm. Hmm.
but in New York,
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
in Maine,
hmm,
in Oregon,
yeah,
Washington,
yeah.
the politics the politics of California are dictated by LA and San Francisco. Now,
Hmm.
again, when you look at the demographics of the rest of California, Simi
Hmm.
Valley, the northern part, wine country, San Diego, all of that, that's all red. That's all conservative.
Okay.
But population wise, LA and San Francisco can simply outvote them numbers wise. So those people win and they control the state house and they get to make the rules.
Like I understand what you're trying to say, but again,
New
I go
York,
back
for
to the
example,
state laws. Like again.
New York, for example,
Hmm. Hmm.
New York has 37 counties.
Okay.
32 of those counties are Republican controlled counties.
Hmm.
Only the counties from New York City are Democrat
Okay.
fortresses, so to
Hmm.
speak.
Hmm.
And because of the mass number of people in New York City, all of those people control the state house.
Hmm.
The governor comes from New York City to the mayorship, and then the mayor elects people to this board, this board, this board, this board. So all of these jobs, liquor control, gaming control,
Hmm.
uh, all of these jobs, these are all appointed by people from New York City.
Hmm.
And again, they make the rules. So it doesn't matter what the other 34 counties that don't agree with that says because you just don't have the numbers. So you
I.
have to figure out a way to balance it to a point where, yes, the cities do have a fair shot
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
the land doesn't vote argument,
Hmm.
but also the people in the middle of the country don't lose their voice in the process either.
But the thing
Now
is, yeah,
again,
I
huge push.
understand. Oh yeah, no, I understand. No, no, I understand. I understand. I like this debate, by the way. I really like it. So I think, look, the electoral college, as far as actual presidential vote, should be abolished. Like, if you want to keep it on some sort of state level thing, fair. Yeah, like again, like I'm not saying like, oh, we should not have counties. No, 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 we should definitely, because obviously different country in the counties, sorry, have different people living there, as you pointed out. Yes, they need a different representation because they should know what suits them the best, right? Oh, yeah, 100%, 100%. But again, as far as like president represents, doesn't matter if it's 50 or 150. President represents all of America. And it
Exactly.
shouldn't be that people from certain like southern countries or people from like North Dakota or South Dakota. Why do we need two Dakotas? Or why do you guys anyway? Like
This is a
the
lot of
state.
area, bro.
I know, no,
It's a
I know.
lot of area.
But again, state with 100,000 people have still two senators, the same amount of power in Senate as something as New York, something as California. The California is the fifth or sixth largest economy
California
in the
has
world. In the world.
California. Well, yeah,
In the
senator wise,
world. No, no, no,
but
no. But my
representative,
point is, what some tiny states that have the same Senate like representation, what they actually produce and what they actually contribute, and then compared to like California or especially California, who could be actual state on its own and still have a great economy. Like they have their problems, don't get me wrong, but on paper, the
mhm,
economy is fucking large. So it's again, like you say, yes, the big people shouldn't be voting for the small, but then we often, or you guys often, I'm in a situation where it's the other way around, where because of disproportionately things, again, electoral college is bullshit because what do we wait for every four, or what do you guys wait for every 4 years?
right,
Results of seven states. Results of seven swing fucking states. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, Kamala or whoever is the next doesn't have to fucking campaign in California. They will win California. The same is like, effectively they don't have to campaign in Texas. They will probably win in Texas all the time. It always goes down to seven fucking states. And that's the problem.
that's
So it's not, so
I
what I'm
agree.
arguing, what I'm arguing is actually more choice because it shouldn't come down to seven states or five states or four states. It should come down to all of the Americans. And I guarantee you there are Americans staying at home like how many Republicans are staying at home in California because they know they live in a blue state, so their vote doesn't matter. Or vice versa. How many Democrats stay at home
Right.
in Texas where like, yeah, we live in a red state, or Louisiana, we live in a red state. I would vote for whoever is a Democrat, but I know ultimately my all alone voice will not change anything because of electoral college and because I live in a red state. Doesn't matter.
That's right.
So to
You know what's
me,
cool
like,
though?
no, I know, but look, so to me, I think run elect who you want to elect, even though it kind of affects the entire of the world, which is kind of scary. But okay, but elect who you want to elect. But get as many people to actually participate in the election process. Get as
Right.
many people to vote, so then there's no like oh yeah, nobody voted for this. No, you guys did, but many people have stayed home and are always staying home. And like to me, that always saddens me. You have the power to vote, but like in America, that's my problem. It's not really a direct power because there's so
Right.
many obstacles in the way that feels like, oh yeah, many people they would rather just stay at home because they know that in a grand scheme of things, their vote probably doesn't matter as much. As long as they don't live in Philadelphia, as long as they don't live in Georgia, as long as they don't live in like Arkansas. That way,
You know.
I don't know. Anyway.
No, dude, I love that
Hmm.
we can discuss this
Hmm.
and do it like this.
Civilized way. Look,
This is the problem
yes,
is people don't do this. Because when
correct.
you do this, this is where the exchange of free information, the exchange of ideas,
Yes,
this is
yes.
when it gets onto the table and people say, you know what? Okay, I can understand where you're coming from.
Hmm. Hmm.
So many people though just Democrat,
Yeah.
and I always use this story as an analogy. An
Hmm.
analogy. My grandfather, he is 98 years old. He
Hmm.
still runs his farm every single day. This man is as tough gets. Okay, he's a lifelong Democrat,
Hmm.
Kennedy Democrat, going
Hmm.
way back, Union member. you know, blue blood Democrat is what he would be known for, or known as.
Hmm.
Our neighbor next door, his name was Walter. Grandfather, 37 years working for General Motors,
Hmm.
retired. Walter, 32 years, worked at Ford.
Hmm.
He was as Republican, he was a walking example of John Wayne,
Okay.
gun-toting Republican, blah blah blah. These two were best friends, but
Hmm.
they were like Archie Bunker and George Jefferson.
Yeah.
Okay, like they
Yeah.
would bicker about everything.
Hmm.
But here's the one thing: Walter grew corn, we grew beans. When our beans were ready to come in that field, Walter would be the first one at our house, 4:30 in the morning with coffee and donuts. Get out in that field, get these beans done, get them where they need to go. And when
Yep.
his corn come in, my grandfather would be the first one at his house,
Hmm.
get it done, boom.
Hmm.
Because that's how you survive. It wasn't about politics. It
Hmm.
was simply about surviving.
Yes.
And they would at each, oh, you, that's a Ford's a piece of crap. You can't park that Ford in my yard, or you can't park that
Yeah.
Chevy in my yard. They would little bicker, just dumb shit. And we would laugh at it.
Hmm.
But you never, ever saw those two men let one go without. When Walter's dad was sick with cancer, my grandfather, who did all of the cooking,
Hmm.
took that man meals every single night.
Yeah.
He would cook the meal, and before he sat down to eat, he would put some in a Tupperware dish, and he would drive down to that house, and he would give Walter dinner and the old man dinner. And,
Hmm.
it was just what you did.
Yeah.
And it was that was tempered into me of me and you, for example.
Hmm.
Obviously, politically, we're like this.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe we like the same movies. Maybe we like the same books. Maybe we like the same sports team. Maybe we like the same beer. Maybe we like the same pizza. We have so much in common.
Hmm.
Why the hell are we letting one thing dictate that we can't speak to each other? We can't be civilized to each other. We can't
Hmm.
sit down
And to be
as
fair, I
human.
don't think we are that far apart. Like,
I mean, I
you're,
don't think we are, but just,
yeah.
just saying, like, people literally will say, I can't be friends with you because you're
Hmm.
this.
Hmm.
And look, unless you're just fringe, unless
Yes.
you're just out there,
Hmm.
okay, then I'm going to stay away from you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, I ain't going to endorse you if you're just a psychopath, okay? But if you got some common sense and you're willing to be a human being,
Hmm.
I don't care who you voted for.
Yeah.
Look, it's your choice. I was always told you don't speak about who you voted for. That stays in the booth. And if you want to discuss it, that's cool. But it's just one of them things. Like, look, the point of this whole thing is
Hmm.
the hot take was just kind of like we'll be
No, of
okay.
course.
I mean,
No, of course. Look, I genuinely look, and that's what I said to Brian as well, who is actually very pro-Trump, you know.
right.
So and that's why I said to him as well. I genuinely hope you guys will be okay. The
I think
first
we will.
the first week alone tells me you're not ready for what is coming, and
I mean, look,
and
we survived the first 4 years, and he had a lot less idea then than he does now. And he had a
I
lot
have
worse people with him the first time than he did this time.
I think
So,
it's the opposite, my dude. I think it's the quite opposite because now they have a roadmap and they have people in places where they need them to have it. But again, that's a whole another hour we can have about this. So
right.
I'll close this with
Let's
this.
get to the movies, bro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna say,
I'm dying to do this movie stuff.
me too, me
I
too.
love movies.
So okay, let's move to the Flix part of the podcast where I'll ask you, CJ. So who's the last? Or not who? What is the last new movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything 2020s onwards.
I think that the one that immediately came to mind, it's a movie from Indonesia.
Hmm.
Uh, it's a movie called The Night Comes for Us.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
It has uh, Joe Taslim and Iko Uwais in it. Uh, it is ultra violent,
Hmm.
ultra gory. It's basically the raid on steroids.
Hmm.
It is just so mind-bogglingly fast-paced, gory, and over the top that you're just like, holy shit, the whole movie, dude. I mean, that's why I said I love a great martial art flick,
Hmm.
but when I saw The Raid, I was like, okay, this is
Excellent.
this is it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he did the Raid 2, and it
Two.
was like, fuck me, bro. Like, that was brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And then this movie come out, and it just made the Raid 2 look like a Disney movie. And
Yeah.
I was like, wow, bro. Like, this is just, it was like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and martial arts for him, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a martial art movie. It's not high art, but it was one of the movies. The effects, the soundtrack, the camera movement with the drones and everything. It really, to me, just it checked all of those boxes of like,
Yeah.
this is just a complete. This is how you do an action movie, okay? Like this is it. Like I can't think of an action movie that is going to top this
Okay.
for a while and be coherent the way this was storyline wise.
That's
Um,
been on my watch list for a while. Only thing
oh,
I'll
dude, it's
say, yeah. So only thing I'll say, this would be probably in a teen section because this is actually 2018 movie. So I was like, okay,
oh, is
look,
it?
yes, it is.
Oh, I thought it come out after that.
Nope, 2018.
Damn.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine.
I
It's fine. You can have
apologize
two.
then, because
You can have two. It's fine. It's fine. No, no, no. But like again, it's been on my, I believe, Netflix queue for quite some time, and I'm getting there. I am definitely getting there because I heard quite a few good things about that movie. So,
it's crazy. Like, just be prepared. Like, it's not.
oh, can
Don't
wait.
have your kids around while you're watching it. Like, it is
No kids
not
around.
kid friendly.
There's no kids
Not a
around.
kid friendly movie. Like, if you have a little girl, she's gonna be like, "Why did his head just go high?" And there are parts where the body parts literally just be like, "There goes his arm through the air,
Great.
blood." It's like I said, it's super ultra violent, bro.
Okay.
Um,
Cannot
like
wait to
it,
watch it.
yeah, it shocked me even. Like I love violent movies, like
Hmm.
Toxic Avenger. I'm a massive, massive fan of Toxic Avenger,
I've
and
just watched it for the first time like 4 months ago, 3 months ago. It's a movie for sure. It's a like
it's
it's a
so bad,
trauma
it's
movie.
great.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
yes, one of those. 100%. Okay, so
I had the honor of
tell me.
interviewing Lloyd Kaufman. Um,
Nice.
brilliant man, love him to death,
Hmm.
hilarious. I One of my obsessions is movies that are so bad they're good. Like
Okay.
I call them train wreck movies.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
Hmm.
train
Hmm.
wreck. You're not supposed to watch it, but you can't look away.
Yes.
Those are my favorite movies. The movies that are they're terrible movies, but they're so terrible. You get engrossed in them. Like, is
Hmm.
this really as bad as it? Oh, it is. And it's the lines are just
Yeah.
um.
Cheesy.
So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like I have those movies. I have a massive collection of them of terrible movies that
Nice.
are my favorites that
Nice.
um
No,
I
that's
will watch over and over. So.
yeah, that's no, that's awesome. I also have a weak spot for those movies, like so bad it's good. Like
Mhm.
like we understand each other right there. Like you don't have to defend those here.
No, I'm
Like
not. I'm just
like
saying it's my
I'm
thing.
your
Like,
guy. I'm your guy. Like so what is
yeah.
the okay, so let's hear your official teen movie. So anything between
I
2003
didn't.
and 19.
I couldn't think of one other than like possibly Deadpool.
Okay.
Um,
Cool. Okay. Deadpool
I
is a
was
great
like,
movie.
yeah, but I was like, I couldn't think of one like sort of from that time period and
Hmm.
that I've watched recently.
Hmm.
In, I mean, I've watched so many TV series recently that I haven't watched a ton of movies. And I
Fair.
was like, what was the last movie that I watched from that era or from
Yeah.
that time frame and I was like, and then I looked over and I saw Deadpool and I was like, yeah, it's probably the Deadpool movie because,
So the first
um,
one we were talking about.
yeah, that
Okay, okay,
I I hated the second one. I
okay.
I walked out during the second one. I haven't seen the third one yet. So we're working on that.
What made you hate it?
I just it seemed really discombobulated to me. Like it was kind of all
Okay.
over the place a little bit. And
Really?
also I wasn't feeling the best when I went to see it in the theater.
Ah, okay, okay.
So I was having a little bit of a time with the medication I was on.
Mm,
So I was struggling a little bit and it was just one of the I'm sure if I probably went back and rewatched it now, I would like it because I love Ryan Reynolds. Van Wilder and Waiting, two of my
hmm.
favorite movies of all time.
Okay,
Um, love gross humor.
okay,
You know,
okay.
I love a dumb sex comedy, so
Yeah,
to speak.
yeah.
And I'm a pop culture expert when it comes to
Hmm.
sex comedies. You
Ah,
know, if
okay.
you want to talk about yeah, like you want to talk about Revenge of the Nerds, Porky's,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
Screwballs, anything like that, all week long.
Yeah, yeah.
Just again, terrible, stupid movies.
Okay, so what is the last adult movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything between 2002 and 1975.
So this is going to be a movie not a lot of people have seen.
Hmm.
Um, but it does star a very famous person that people love. It was one of
Hmm.
his earlier movies. Um, but it's a terrible, cheesy movie. But because of the culture and the genre that it's in, I give it a 5 out of 5 every time. It's a movie called The Van, um,
Hmm.
1977.
Okay.
Um, so because I lived in California for a while
Hmm.
during that era, and I grew up in the era of over here it's known as the van culture. It is the old vans that were custom painted with, you know,
Hmm.
band logos or different Dungeons and Dragons designs, and the insides they were custom. They had water beds, they had disco balls, they had just velvet everything on the walls, man. They were customized in crazy ways. That's what
Yeah.
the movie is about, basically. It's about this kid who gets his own. We so there were two terms that were used very loosely for these vans
Hmm.
because they were basically hotels on wheels.
Okay.
Um, so if you were from the West Coast or the Southwest on that side of the country,
Hmm.
they were known as stabbing cabins.
Okay.
Uh,
I wonder
if you
why.
were from what?
I wonder why.
If you were from the Midwest or the
Mhm.
South, we called them shaggin' wagons. You
Subtle.
know,
I like it. It's very subtle. Yes.
yeah, getting very Austin Powers in there. They were called shaggin' wagons. So that's basically what this movie. It's a sort of a Porky's
Hmm.
type of movie about this kid who gets this really awesome, you know, vans, got the water bed, the five TVs, the stereo, all that. And of course, he's in love with the girl. The girl's not interested in him because she thinks he's ridiculous for having this van with a water bed. So he's spends the whole movie basically trying to get laid by
Hmm.
her. But it's showcasing the van culture.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Now, my buddies growing up in the 70s and 80s, I was surrounded by these things.
Hmm.
My dad owned one, my uncle owned one, a lot of my friends in high school owned them. Um, so I had this sort of weird appreciation for the art that goes into, because when you customize these things, I've seen thousands of these things in
Hmm.
every color, lime green, purple, white, brown, black, blue, strobe lights, LEDs, disco balls, pirate theme, Prince theme, uh, Boston Rush, Molly Hatchet. I mean, I've seen these things in the most creative forms you would ever, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I knew one dude who had one that literally the inside looked like the damn Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
You know, tens
Cool.
of thousands of dollars for this thing.
Yeah.
But it was okay, that's creative, man. Like that's a different form of art
Hmm.
to not only think of how to do this, but then find somebody who can make it
Yeah.
happen. So this movie is
About
about
that.
sort of that of van culture with the teenage sex romp type of thing. And it stars one of the stars is Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a cheesy, terrible movie, but I love it. It's a 5 out of 5 for me all the time because
Okay.
it's again so bad. It's
It's good.
and
Yeah.
the bad guy's name is Mundo. So I mean, you gotta love a movie with a bully named Mundo. Uh,
Okay. I
so
I will be honest. I have never heard of that movie
yeah,
before.
it's definitely like I said, it's one of the movies that 99% of people aren't gonna know, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No, like, but
I
it
love it.
sounds intriguing to me.
Yeah,
Look,
it's
as a person who wants to see every movie ever made, it sounds intriguing. So, like, if I ever see it on like streaming anywhere, I'll
you won't.
definitely be like, oh yeah, that's what CJ was talking about. Let me give it a shot. Let's see youngish Danny DeVito, me in a six
Um,
band.
it was during the days he was doing Taxi, the TV
Yeah,
show Taxi.
yeah.
So but he's playing a very Danny DeVito character. He's
Hmm.
he owns a car wash, but he's also a bookie on the
Of
side
course.
while he's running the car wash. So,
I mean,
you know,
as one does, like as one is, yes.
yeah, like if you remember the character he played, Louis from Taxi, it's very much the same type
I've
of
never
thing.
seen
Even
Taxi, to
though,
be honest. Like I
oh
might
wow,
blow your mind,
great
but
film.
I hear good things about it. But it's obviously like,
Yeah,
it's not a TV show that here at least would be,
yeah.
anywhere to be
I mean,
streamed.
Christopher Lloyd, Danny DeVito, uh, Jed, Jed Hirsch. I mean, just
Was
star
Robin
after
Williams there as well?
he was
Or
for a while.
yeah.
Andy Kaufman
Oh yeah.
was in it. Just had star after star. Gloria Radman, um, Jeff Bridges in his early days. I mean, it
Mm,
was so stacked with stars who weren't even stars at the time.
yeah.
Um, that it was one of them things where pretty much everybody it was became a star later doing something different.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's
Now,
the
if I
van.
ever see it, like if I ever see the van stream, oh wait, it's actually available on Amazon Prime here. So
Oh, is it?
on my watch list it goes. And because I
Nice.
look, every once in a while, I'm not in a mood for like I love all kinds of movies, right? But you need to
Right.
be in a mood in a mood to watch like a this heavy drama and this like super intense thriller or this super intense horror movie, right? And sometimes you're not in the mood for those like intense movies. Sometimes you just want a dumb, cheesy comedy
Yeah.
about,
This is it.
shaggy wagons and all that. So,
Yeah.
hey, like,
This is it. This is a very Porky's
hey, yeah, fair.
type
Why
of
not?
movie.
I,
You know.
I do not discriminate against people or movies. So
Yeah.
I'll give any movie a shot. So like,
You know.
okay. So,
You can hate me later after seeing it.
nah. Now,
No, I'm just
worst
kidding.
case scenario, I'll be like, okay, that's not my thing. Best case scenario, I'll be like, this is fucking funny. I will be like,
Yeah.
all right. So,
It's
what would be the last old movie you would rate 5 out of 5? So anything
um,
1974 and older.
this one actually came out in 1975, very early 75,
I'll allow
but it
it.
was filmed in 74. Um, I've been rewatching all of the John Wayne movies.
Oh, okay.
Um, so the last one that I've watched is Rooster Cogburn.
Oh,
The
I
one
heard
with
about it.
the second one in the series, him and Katharine Hepburn. Um, so that was I haven't seen a lot of old movies that
Hmm.
are
Hmm.
pre 1974
Hmm.
lately. So
Okay.
that would definitely probably be the one that
Hmm.
I'm also rewatching the Clint Eastwood stuff.
Nice.
Um, I have like the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly,
Oh
the
yeah, the
the
spaghetti
Dollars
western.
trilogy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I got those in there, but I haven't watched them yet
Oh,
or
those are
rewatched them.
amazing.
Right. I've seen them before, but
Okay,
it's
okay.
been like 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, and I'm one of them people like there's certain movies I don't want to see again.
Okay.
And then there's certain movies I like to revisit every 5 or 10 years. And then there's movies I will watch 5 to 6 times a year.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Iron Eagle. Dumbass, stupid, cheesy movie. I watch that movie 4 times a year and never get tired of it. The soundtrack, you can't go wrong with any movie that has Queen in the soundtrack. You just can't. But come
Okay.
on, F-16's blowing up shit, rescuing his dad. Like you hear that argument, Top Gun versus Iron Eagle. I'll take Iron Eagle every day. I mean, Top Gun was more of a serious tone. Obviously, it's the
Hmm.
bigger budget, but Iron Eagle and Lou
Okay.
Gossett Jr.
Okay.
That's my argument. Lou Gossett Jr. That's
As a person who has not seen Iron Eagle, I'll again, it would be on my list. It's like I definitely want to see it, especially if it's
killer
compared to
soundtrack, dude.
okay. Like
Killer
soundtracks,
soundtrack.
sometimes that's all it takes, like
Oh,
a good soundtrack
yeah.
and just look. I'm a definitely one of those who I judge movies based on what they are, not what they
Mhm.
meant to or what I wish them to be. Meaning, if you give me a stupid sex comedy, but I have a blast, and if I have enough blast, I'll give it 5 out of 5. I don't give a fuck.
Right,
Like, if it actually entertains me and and fulfills its mission, whatever that
right.
mission is, I'm not too shy to rate it highly. Like, so like, if it's a Western, if it's a drama, if it's a comedy, if it's a Iron Eagle,
Yeah.
like, again, like I
So
would,
it's a movie you have to suspend disbelief.
okay.
Because obviously, a bunch of high school kids and an old retired Air Force agent hijack two F-16s, fly across the world to rescue his dad, who's shot down over
Damn.
a Middle Eastern country. I think they kind of lean into it was during the era with Libya.
Hmm. Hmm.
So they don't say Libya exactly, but the bad guy is very Gaddafi-ish. So obviously, yeah, 16-year-old kid steals an F-16 fighter, flies across the country, rescues his dad, blowing shit up along the way. Um,
But I hear
on the
there was a normal day in the 80s anyway. So like,
But on the verge of getting shot down, and of course the Air Force show up just in time to save his ass off the coast of blah blah blah. So again, total
no
suspension of
spoilers here,
disbelief.
okay?
But
No spoilers
yeah,
here,
but I'm just
okay?
saying it's if you've seen Top Gun,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
similar in tone,
Yeah.
only cheesier, funnier, better soundtrack,
Okay.
more kind of tongue in cheek, and again, Lou Gossett Jr. It's, I mean, that's my argument. Lou Gossett Jr. I'm a huge, huge fan. Mad
Okay.
respect for Lou Gossett Jr. So,
Okay. I'm making a mental note on my mental list. It goes where it's like, if I ever see it on streaming, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember our conversation. Let's
I
watch it.
think I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon. I think I
See,
just watched
here it's
it.
not. In the UK, I've checked,
Oh,
and I have an app that tracks, or I I have my streaming services on, and for UK setting, and
right.
so that's why I was so quick to discover the ban is actually on Amazon Prime. But Iron Eagle,
That's funny.
unfortunately, it's not. So maybe one day, Jeff Bezos. Maybe one day. Mm.
Maybe.
So what would you say is your favorite movie decade?
Definitely the 80s.
80s. Okay.
The 80s all the way, like without question. Great movies of from all of them, but the 80s gave us Goonies, gave us Gremlins, gave us I mean, just Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Pretty in
Yep.
Pink.
Yep.
Uh,
Well, most of John Hughes, like really, like John
but
Hughes.
I
Yeah.
mean, just beyond that, I mean, it's
Breakfast
just
Club.
so many
Hmm.
blockbuster E.T.,
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, the later Star Wars movies, not the
Yep.
original one. That was late,
77.
but
Yep.
I mean, there's so much during that era, man. Bill
Hmm.
and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
Yep.
um, another completely terrible movie that shouldn't have been nearly as funny as it was, but just great
Hmm.
lines, great cheesy, stupid lines.
Hmm.
Um, you know, put them in the Iron Maiden. Excellent. Execute them. Bogus. It was just shit like that. That
Yep.
was great. If you were a teenage metalhead, you got that joke immediately. But
Hmm.
um, you know,
Yeah. No, 80s is
and
great.
again, teenage boys time traveling. Nice. Come on, dude. Like that's an outrageous. They don't come up with movies like that now. It's
Nope.
you know. So
That's for sure.
I'll take 80s movies. And the 80s slasher films are the best too. Like horror movies today are terrible.
To be fair,
Um,
slashers, that's where it's established like, properly its roots. Like, obviously like John Carpenter Halloween was 77,
yeah,
79, but like 80s where we gotten like, most of the others, the sequels, the Friday the 13th,
right.
Nightmare on Elm Street, all those big.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh yeah,
That's that is
Hellraiser.
yeah.
Hellraiser is also there towards the end of the
Or
80s.
what's the oh I can never remember
Chucky,
the damn.
like a child's
No,
play.
the
I was also
um hold on.
holding. No, but I'm just gonna say whilst you looking up. No, like if 80s should be praised for one thing, really horror is where many horror franchises we now know and love, like popped off. And for better or worse, many great like horror movies, like especially slashers, came from 80s.
Yeah. I am a huge fan of let me see, Clint Eastwood, Commando Enemy Mine, Indiana Jones, Football, Phantasm. The Phantasm movies are
I still haven't seen
another.
those. I heard of
Oh,
them.
that's such a creepy,
Hmm.
creepy series. And what's so great about the Phantasm movies
Hmm.
is a guy who plays the mortician.
Hmm.
Um, he's a Scottish dude, is Angus something or another.
Okay.
And he's big, lanky, just grotesque looking
Hmm.
guy.
Yeah.
Wasn't even supposed to play the role. Like
Mm.
he wasn't really even an actor. He took his granddaughter to an audition for the movie,
Oh yeah.
and the director saw him and
You look
was
creepy. Do you
just
want to be in front of camera?
he looks like the guy from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm.
And he saw him and he's just like, you, you are the mortician. Like you
That's our
just,
creepy dude. That's him.
yeah, like he had that sort of lurch look from,
But
you
imagine
know,
being that dude, right? Like, be like, thanks, I guess I'm gonna be in a movie, but also thanks.
I mean, hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to lead into it.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%.
I mean, look,
Hey,
Ryan Reynolds ain't gonna win. Ryan Reynolds ain't gonna win no Oscar for a dramatic movie.
oh, he will. Ah, he will. I have a
Mhm.
theory about this. I have a theory about this. I actually formulated properly. So I'll share with you before we move on. There, when it comes to Hollywood, it's split between 10, 80%, and 10%. So there's
Uh-huh.
10% of actors and all the artists. That's it's not a question of if but when, like Saoirse Ronan, Zendaya, like Florence Pugh, like all the current massive talent. There, it's not a question of when it or sorry if but when really. And then there's the 10% below. That's like, yeah, they never have a chance because mostly they are like B, C, deep actors. They never get a chance, proper chance. Unfortunately, some of them great, but they don't have the studios behind them.
Right.
But, and this leads me to my 80%, the majority of Hollywood. I have a theory, which has been proven many, many times over. Give any actor or most of the actors, give them a great movie and a good year where not much is happening. Anyone, almost anybody can win an Oscar. Like if all like like Ryan Reynolds is. I can see him. I've seen some of his like Buried is one of the movies where he is not like Van Wilder. He's stretching those dramatic muscles,
Hmm.
and he has a talent. Like, and again, I can see him if there's
I
a
mean,
year
maybe with
where
the right
everything,
role, but
yeah, exactly, everything. Again, that's what I'm saying. If everything were to align 1 year, The Rock, for all I care, yeah, I will say this. I can even see even The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
uh,
If everything were to align, he will win an Oscar. I guarantee it.
maybe. But
Genuinely, like he is the top of the Hollywood where that's why he's now working with A24 because like he wants to stretch those muscles. And if everything were to align for him, I can see it. I'm
right.
not saying he deserves it. I'm not saying he's the best actor we have right now. No. I'm
No.
saying modern
Oh no, no,
Hollywood,
no, no, no.
modern
I
Hollywood, you have to have the backing behind you,
Yeah.
firstly.
But I'm just saying sometimes you lean into what you're good at. And
Correct.
Ryan is
Oh yeah.
like when they said he's playing Deadpool, I was
Hmm.
kind of like, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely 100%. And then he did that, teaser, and it was just like, oh yeah, there's
You mean the leak? You mean the like
yeah,
I wonder
um
who leaked it, the test footage that
it
was
was
supposed to, yeah.
it was Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan has admitted that it was Ryan.
Somebody from his, yeah, 100%.
But I mean, sometimes you're just born to play a role.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
Ryan was born to play Deadpool.
100%.
Um, so it's just one of them things where
Hmm.
when you're good at something, again, lean into it. And hey, if you're not an attractive guy and you get a movie franchise that's based on a horrible looking, spooky as creepy mortician alien guy, then hey, get your money, player. You know,
I was gonna say, like, if somebody spotted me on a street and be like, "Hey, do you want to be in a movie as this monster?" I'll be like, how much? How much were you
yeah.
talking?"
What are we talking here? Like one movie, two movie, three
Yeah,
movies, get distribution. I mean, I know the business, bro. Like, what's
yeah,
up? Like, are the residuals,
yeah,
is this a
yeah,
one-time thing, two-time thing?
yeah.
When's my checks coming in?
And
Um,
people love the monsters. People love
yeah. Oh, what do they
monsters.
do? A good
Hard to come
monster,
by.
good monster, like
Yeah, yeah.
so
There's a reason Frankenstein, Dracula, all those, like, if we go back to the OG days, there's a reason
yeah,
those are still popular and those are still
yeah.
relatable.
I just go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't
No, no,
mean
no,
to cut
Onigo,
you.
no, that was pretty much it.
I was, I was gonna say I just watched the new Nosferatu movie.
Uh-huh.
I didn't give it a 5 out of 5, but I a lot of respect for
I loved
what
it. I
what
fucking
he
loved
did
it.
with that movie. I mean, this is a not an easy movie to,
No?
you got to remember that this is a timepiece,
Yep, yep.
or so you can't just modernize it. Um,
Correct.
so you got a lot of working pieces, and um, Skarsgård is one of them guys who wasn't my favorite at first, but the more I see him, the more respect I have for him. Like he's really good at the little niche stuff that he does. So I have a lot more respect for him now than I did say 4 years ago or 5 years ago.
I've had a
Um,
lot of respect for him, even because of the It and Pennywise. What he did with Pennywise, for many people, like he nailed it. Like even if I'm not as high on those movies, like the first one is almost there for me. Like the first one is almost there. I If I were to rewatch it, maybe I'll fully love it, but I really like it. The second one has its problems. It's a 3 hour movie that shouldn't have to be 3 hour movie, but that's near
I
here
haven't
there.
seen either one, so
So
I've read a
Pennywise.
lot, but
So like
I've
I had
seen
a
the originals like back in
yeah,
the
yeah.
the eighth version,
Tim Curry,
but I
Tim
haven't seen the
Curry,
new
yeah,
ones.
yeah.
But I've seen, obviously the other stuff he's done, and again, it's
Like to
I
me,
don't dislike the guy, but
yeah,
I have a lot of respect. He's very good at playing
yes,
characters,
yes,
and he's getting better and better. He's growing into as he gets older, he's becoming much more confident and much more
yep.
presence wise.
And what
Um,
he did with Nosferatu, holy
yeah.
fuck!
Now, I cannot say the same about Nicholas Holt.
Holt.
There is something about him that I just don't
Oh damn, you're
like.
one of the only people I know that are hating
There's
on my
something
boy
about him
Nicholas.
that's
What's
just
happening?
so I don't know what it is about him. He just is not convincing as anything. Like in Renfield, he was just sort of this wishy-washy, and then in this one he was like wishy-washy, and then in
Well, those were the roles.
but
Those
I'm
were the roles.
saying, like, I don't know. I haven't seen him in anything that really makes me,
Have you not seen
you
Mad Max Fury Road?
know, I've seen what?
Mad Max Fury Road?
Mm-mm. Not yet.
Oh, wait, what? I'm not
Not
talking.
yet.
Wait, I'm not talking about
I've got it on
Furiosa
my
from
movie
last
list.
year. I'm not talking about
I've got
Furiosa
it on
from.
my movie list. I just haven't got to it yet.
Okay, that's the
You got to remember,
movie.
I got about 285 movies on my Plex
Oh
movie
yeah,
list, so
fair,
I
fair.
it
You mean
takes time. And
wait? You mean legally purchased movies? Oh, Plex? What is that?
yeah, so I Plex is
I know exactly
yeah,
what it is. I know
I
exactly.
basically I use it to be able to watch it on my TV,
Yeah, yeah,
as opposed to having to drag DVDs
yeah, yeah.
across. So
No, Mad
basically what I'm
Max.
doing is,
I will say for my boy Nicholas Holt. He is, I think, sneaky. This is how I think if you have a good parents, him and like Zendaya, this is how you go from like a child star to a superstar later on. Because he has been at it for now 2 decades, ever since he was a literal child. And
right.
now he like developed into like this leading actor where it's like, damn, like I haven't seen Juror number two, but he's supposed to be excellent in that. He was getting a
That's a
like
Clint Eastwood movie, so
yes, yes.
it's gonna be something.
He was getting
Um,
like an Oscar buzz for that movie, and I think if the studio decided not to bury it, he might have actually been nominated. I don't know, I haven't seen it, but apparently
it's
he's
because
great.
Clint Eastwood basically pissed him off. The reason they
Yeah,
buried it.
but
Um,
for like Nicholas, like like Nosferatu, excellent movie, excellent. And again, like to report
I mean,
about Bill Skarsgård,
yeah,
just the what he did with his voice, and then when he then
yeah,
learned from the interviews how he's talking about how he worked with like Mongolian monks to
yeah,
practice to get lower his registry. Like he does the thing that Jared Leto was supposed to do or was trying to do with Joker, but he went all wrong about it, and he does it.
yeah.
But then he learned. But between takes, he's just a cool guy. Even in the wake up, he was just a normal guy. He wasn't like, "I'm a method actor. Look at me." No, he was actually like communicating with
Right.
people like a normal person. So like he
Because
does the thing properly.
yeah, well, because he did the same thing with the role from the John Wick movie,
Yep.
with that accent, So he's very adept at
He is committed.
getting. He's getting better. He's
I
getting more
mean,
confident. He's getting more.
I will. He's Stellan Skarsgård's son, and Stellan
Yeah,
Skarsgård is one of the best European actors we've ever had. So, like, yes, like I would put him up
yeah,
there. Like, as far as like European, like actors, Stellan Skarsgård is a top fucking class.
yeah.
So he comes from a royalty in that way, and
Nice.
I'm happy that he is striving, and I'm hoping because of Nosferatu he gets more roles where people can
Yeah,
actually differentiate that's actually him, not put on a mask and prosthetics
yeah.
and all that.
I know he's in the new Crow remake, and I'm kind of like,
That's supposed to
I,
be terrible.
I was like, I'm going into it expecting the worst, but hoping that it's better because
I
it's him. Because it's him,
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and see what he does because he
me
is a
too.
great actor. Maybe he took a complete bucket of shit and turned it into something a little shiny on the
Hmm.
surface.
Me
Not
too.
holding my breath,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not as bad as I have pretty low standards for movies, obviously. I mean, I like Iron Eagle, so I mean that says a lot, but um
I will say I've only
you
seen the trailer for the latest Crow, and even from that trailer, I'm like, this is supposed to sell me on that movie, and it does the opposite. Like,
yeah.
holy shit, that trailer was bad. And just the trailer, and then when I saw the reviews, the first reviews coming in, and everybody hating it, like properly hating it, and I'm like, okay, I'm definitely not a cinema, but hey, maybe on streaming, I'll give it a shot. I still want to form
That's
my
what I'm
own
saying. I
opinion.
mean, I ain't going to the theater to see it,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
once it comes out and
correct.
if I see it in a Walmart bin for $4, I'll grab it just for the sake of
Yeah,
throwing it in the collection and having
yeah.
it, or I'll go to the video store and get it off the
Hmm.
resale rack for a couple bucks and
Nice.
so yeah.
So you've
Anyways,
hinted at you had a movie hot take, so let's hear it.
uh two, um
Oh, tell me.
number one, Christian Bale makes me want to drive spikes in my eyes.
Holy shit.
I don't like Christian Bale. That man
Why?
has never. There is something about him that just aggravates the shit out of me.
Hmm.
I absolutely detest American Psycho as a movie.
Well, I
I,
don't think you should be rooting for. Well, some people,
well, no,
some,
I get, I'm not, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just that movie, the
Even like the Batman movies.
Again, don't like the Batman movies. The Reign of Fire movie with him and Matthew McConaughey.
I've actually seen that.
Enjoyed
Yeah.
the movie. That wasn't completely terrible, but
Hmm. Hmm.
that movie really was carried by Matthew McConaughey and a lot of the other characters other than Christian. Like it's just he's just one of them actors I don't enjoy. And I know
Okay.
people and again, respect where respect is due. Christian is gonna be Christian. Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
but not going to be the guy that I ever intentionally watch one of his
Okay.
movies. Um,
I will say this. I will say this. I like him. I really like him. I respect him.
and a lot of people do, and that's cool. I
Yeah.
mean, no
I don't
disrespect.
think I don't think he should have won for the fighter because I that was a movie I need to rewatch because that movie did nothing for me.
Never seen it, so don't
Most
no
to be
idea.
fair, most of David O. Russell movies they do nothing for me and people seem to love them. So I'm guessing I'm the minority, which fine. I'll own up to that. I'm probably the minority. But I think he deserves to have an Oscar. Christian Bale. I don't think it was for that movie because okay. But anyway, okay, that's just my kind of like,
Right.
what's the second one? You said you had two.
Um, Anything with Seth Rogen is that's a hard
Another
no
one
for
who
me.
just like, nah, no, no.
Yeah, um
You mean you don't
he's
like?
been so he's been in movies that I like.
Okay.
But he just kind of gets on my nerves. Like he's always got something stupid to say somewhere along the way. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know, he'll take like a bunch of good lines and then he'll say something completely freaking random and stupid
Mm-hmm.
to like make him look like an asshole. And it's just like, dude, just learn to shut up sometimes. Like less is
Okay.
more. Okay. Like, obviously Pineapple Express was a funny movie. Um, and a few others.
Mm-hmm.
So when he's playing sort of the supporting role,
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind him.
Mm-hmm.
But anything where he's a lead in it, I'm just kind of like, yeah, not gonna be my thing.
Okay.
So
I
you
will
know,
say to this, I'll say, uh, as far as like mid 2000s to like late. 2010s or like mid 2010s. I kind of am net neutral on. I don't hate him. I don't love him, but I'm
Right.
fine. Like, but I like lately he's on one of those comedic actors who started to also stretch his like acting muscles and taking on more
That's cool.
dramatic roles. And I in those roles he's surprisingly decent. I don't know if you've seen it. Well, you're in a big into TV shows. Have you seen the Pam and Tommy TV show about Pamela Anderson and the sex tape?
Uh,
So he is in that. He also produced it, if I'm not mistaken, and he
okay.
plays one of the main characters, and he's surprisingly decent. Like he's not that funny in that. Like he's got some
I
funny
mean, I'm
moments.
glad he's stretching his
Yeah.
things, and
So I'm just saying,
I'm
like
not,
if you like give him a chance from the last, let's say, six
yeah.
years or so, like if you because if you're referring to the period of like 2004 to 2015, yeah, I see it. I see
I
it.
am very interested. I know
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of his pet project.
Yeah.
Um, he's working on. He wants to do a modern version of the Green Hornet,
Oh
and
yeah.
I at first was kind of like, no,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized, you know what? He's a certified comic dude like
Yes.
Ryan, like Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
So and this is a pet project. So he's going to put a lot of respect and a lot of, into this just because it's something that is passionate to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like, you know what? 'Cause I really like the old Green Hornet TV
Okay.
shows. It's just because Bruce Lee.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see what happens, and maybe it'll surprise me because there were a few comic related things that I didn't have high hopes for. That
Mm-hmm.
when John Favre or
Favreau.
Favre, however you say his
Favre,
name,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I didn't have high hopes for a lot of his stuff because he was a comedy actor.
Yes.
And the fuck you know about comic books? And then he's done some really good
He's
stuff. And
delivering.
I was like, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
okay, cool. So maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not completely closed-minded to Seth, but he's
Oh,
just not going to be my number one choice. Like
fair.
there's a fair list of people that he's going to fall behind on movie night.
And see, this brings me to our last category. So let's flip it now and let's say, who would you say is the most underrated actor then?
Oh, Walton Goggins.
Oh, nice. Nice. That's a good
Across the
choice.
board. This man is, excuse my language, but this man is a walking goddamn American treasure. Okay, like it doesn't matter what role you give him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This man, whether it's Hateful Eight, whether it's Justified, whether it's Sons of Anarchy, whether it's The Unicorn, whether it's Fallout, White Lotus, this man is just
Yep.
righteous gemstones, man. Like he just delivers.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's like this man is,
And see, this
and
is this is the man I'm talking about when I say 80% of people. Give him a good movie, give him a one good year, he
yeah,
can win an
oh yeah,
Oscar. He can
oh,
definitely, he's
hands
got the
down,
chops. He's got the
hands
chops.
down.
He just needs to have a
I
backing behind him.
Yeah, like it's not a question of if Walton's going to win one. It's simply
When?
when that,
Oh, so for
yeah,
you,
it's
it's
simply
he's
when he's going to get that role that is
so for you,
in that
he's in that
category that he's
10%.
nominated.
Okay, so for you, he's in that 10% of like if it's not if but when. Okay, I get it.
Yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. I mean, uh, Hateful Eight, for example,
Oh yeah.
should have won a ton of awards, barring the fact that A, it was Quentin Tarantino,
Mm-hmm.
who's never going to win awards, and two, it was ultra violent.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing with Samuel Jackson is ever going to win an award. Well,
Well, I think he's won quite a few Oscars.
Django did. Django did. I
Yeah.
rephrase that. Django did.
Pulp
Um,
Fiction.
but
Hmm.
again, Walton is so universal.
Yeah.
Whether he's playing the redneck, whether he's playing the funny religious dude, whether he's playing the serious dad,
Hmm.
he's
Hmm.
just the ghoul. I mean, he's just such a well-rounded, and he's a wonderful man too. Like he's a brilliant photographer.
Hmm.
Uh, the dude is just he's an example of what every actor should strive to be.
Yeah.
And that's I didn't have to think about that one. It was like this
Nice.
man doesn't get nearly the credit that
Uh,
um you know
agreed.
so
Agreed. So did you have to think about too hard about who's the most underrated actress we have right now?
I had to think about it for a minute,
Okay.
but then it kind of dawned on me. I think to me, it's Chloe Grace Moretz.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
I there's something about Chloe that I
Hmm.
love. Like Chloe can be the innocent type, or she
Hmm.
can be like the kick-ass
Yeah.
type girl, or she's played so many sort of levels of characters. Um, she's sort of really versatile herself, and she's still
Hmm.
young.
Oh yeah.
So, I think she's another one that definitely could win a ton of awards still as she gets a little older and grows into her adulthood. I mean, obviously she's an adult now. She's not a
Yes.
teenager anymore, but as she starts getting older and playing more roles, um, she very much could be a Reese Witherspoon or
Hmm.
somebody like that that plays serious characters and just
I would love
um,
to talk to her because it seemed
yeah,
like, early 2010s, it seemed like she was hyped up to be like the next, like as you say, like Reese Witherspoon, like or like one of those like
yeah,
leading ladies. And then like she still makes movies, but it seems like Hollywood kind of shifted her aside for a bit. And I'm like, what happened there? Because like she was supposed to she's been all the movies like since like from like 2008 to 2012 it seemed like every year there was like at least one or two movies with her, right? And I'm like, what happened there? Like, like afterwards, like she's still in movies, don't get me wrong. I just feel like she's not getting the A projects, and I wonder why
yeah.
that is. I really wonder why, because she's got the
Because
talent. Like,
there's other it girls right now.
yes, of
Um,
course, yes.
the one who was there the one who played in the Wednesday series is sort of the
Oh, Jenna Ortega.
yeah, Jenny's kind of stepped into that
Mm-hmm.
little space right now. And of course, her time will come where she'll fade out and somebody else will come and it happens. Um, you just got to reinvent yourself.
Yeah. No, we'll see.
You
We'll
got to
see.
be
But that's a good shout. That's a good
yeah.
shout, my dude. So, who do you
So
think is the most underrated director we have right now?
uh, I don't know. I don't know a whole ton of
That's fine.
director.
We
Um,
can we can skip if you want.
I think director wise, I
Hmm.
think director wise, it would be for TV. It would be
Okay.
Tyler Sherry. Um,
Oh.
because you have Yellowstone, then you have Tulsa King, and then Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. He also was the original idea guy behind Sons of Anarchy.
Hmm.
Um, so Tyler has built this empire, this billion-dollar empire of these really wild timepiece shows of, hey, we have ranchers over here, we have oilmen over here, we have gangsters over here, all tied together by cowboys and the middle America theme.
Hmm.
Um, but his technique, it's really sweeping, like a lot of I don't want to say drone work, but a lot of sweeping, massive shots of national forests and
Hmm.
ranches and landman. It was just the shot of like you could see like 20 miles of oil field with just oil well after oil well, and
Yeah.
it just the shots are so over the top that it's like, wow, there was a really brilliant
Hmm.
cuts
Yeah.
within the context of showing the scale
Hmm.
of, hey, it's Yellowstone,
Yeah.
this is a massive working thing, and then you see this sweeping shot that's thousands of acres, and it gives you context of, okay, this is what we're working with. We're working with a ranch that's 40,000 acres.
Yeah.
This is literally the size of England. you know, that's how big this freaking ranch is. So it gives you a lot of respect for,
Hmm.
wow, these are some hard ass cowboys because they're out here riding horses and they just ain't going down to the mailbox, man. Like the mailbox is 3 miles down the damn road. Um, you
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
so um,
Okay.
and the fact that he's doing 4 TV shows at one time
Hmm.
is pretty damn amazing too. Like
Hmm.
not just movies, but TV series that,
So I had to look it up. So he only directed a couple of things, but I think where what are you talking about? Like he definitely is more of a writer and creator. Like yes, like
right.
Yellowstone and all those.
Yeah,
Like
he's
I
well, he directs a bunch of stuff too, but he's definitely the creator and
Yes,
writer than
yes. Like I
um
think he's much better writer and director. I will say that because like he wrote one of my favorite movies for the past like a decade or so, Hell or High Water. He did it. Sorry, he didn't direct it. He wrote it though. And that
Okay.
story, like again, he feels like him. I'm one of those people who still haven't seen a single episode of Yellowstone. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
But I heard the great things about it from people who, okay,
Landman is better. Landman
okay,
is better. Like
see,
Billy Bob Thornton, dude. Just it is. It is a Billy Bob Thornton role.
okay.
Just that's all you have to say.
And
Is if you
apparently,
like Billy Bob Thornton,
oh, I do.
this show is you're gonna love this show because it is a Billy Bob Thornton role through and through.
Hmm.
Okay, it is Mr. Woodcock or Bad Santa as a Texas oil guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, he's serious, but he's still got that smart remark. He's still got that sort of off the rails alcoholic
Hmm.
crazy ass thing that Billy Bob has cornered the market on.
Yeah.
Billy Bob is another one who he plays a certain kind of role, and
Well, he
he's
can do it all,
very,
really.
very good at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um,
Also,
so
with Tyler Sheridan, I'm just gonna say he also created the TV show called The Lioness with Zoe Saldana.
yes,
I hear
he's
great things.
awesome.
Again, haven't seen
Yeah,
it. Hear good things
I
about it
haven't
though.
watched Lioness yet, but that's another one he's got like 4 or 5 TV series
Yep.
he's doing,
Respect.
and that
Like,
can't be easy, man. Like that's a
no,
lot of moving pieces all at once, and
that's a lot of balls to
you know,
juggle. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
no.
yeah, you know, juggling more balls in a Thai whorehouse, Um, sorry.
So no, it's all right. You're good. You're good. So I know the next one is difficult, but do you have a one or two movies you want to shout out as underrated?
Movies underrated.
Hmm.
Nosferatu would be one. It
Okay.
surprised me. Like I didn't have I kind of went into it open-minded because
Hmm. Hmm.
again, being the period piece that it is, a lot of forethought had to go into this to
Yes.
deliver on what it was originally with a modern take and whatnot. It helps when you have amazing actors like,
Lily
you
Rose
know,
Depp and Bill Skarsgård. Yeah.
but again, it's also a story very easily could get fucked up if you don't know what you're doing.
Hmm.
The use of shadows, the use of mood, the use of so many set pieces that the way he did it
Yeah.
was really executed way beyond and he's done it with other movies. I haven't seen a ton of his other movies, but he's another one that as his movies progress, you see him getting stronger and better and Eggers is really he's gonna be somebody special, man. Like
Oh, he
he's
already is. He
I
only
mean,
directed
yeah,
four
but
movies.
but he already is, but he has the potential to be up there with
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Lucas and
Spielberg.
Capella and Spielberg and those guys. Like he has the potential to be in that hierarchy of
Hmm.
the guys the Peter Jacksons and the uh who's the one who did Avatar and Titanic? James Cameron.
James Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah, so, he has the potential to be up there
I
with
don't
those
know.
guys.
Yeah, like on a quality level, 100%. I don't know if his movies will ever make money because even Nosferatu,
Right.
they made
So
Nosferatu
I'm
made
talking
money.
quality wise.
No, yeah,
I'm talking quality wise.
I
I,
know. No, but like
it's,
if you haven't seen it, I would strongly. I've seen all four movies of his, and I really liked all four of them. But if you haven't seen it, The Northman, excellent.
I
And
have is that a Robert Eggers movie?
yes, it is.
That
So
makes
much sense,
total
right?
sense.
Right? Right?
Yeah, now that you say that, that makes total sense because
And it was
yeah,
criminally underseen that year, 2022, and many
yeah,
people did not go to see it because that flopped in the box office. But it
I
was
love
such a great movie. It's
I
visually
I
stunning.
had to see that one just because Viking heritage.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was another movie that was just so,
Yep.
the visuals, the use of shadows and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
mood was like, oh, yeah, this is
That
this is
one
how you
take when
create
they attack the
suspense. And
village, like the one take, there's like a one take where it takes like 2 or 3 minutes, unbroken shot, and they attack the village. So they had to rehearse all the action and then it's like, like 3 minute long take. I'm like, holy fucking shit. This dude
Yeah.
knows what he's doing. Like he's
Yeah,
flexing
that's
those
what I'm saying.
muscles. Like he's flexing
That's
those
what I'm
muscles.
saying. It's he may not make $100 million movie,
Hmm, hmm.
but he's, quality wise, he's
Oh yeah.
absolute ability to be up there with.
And the last two movies, The Northman and Nosferatu, they might not cost 100 million, but they fucking look like they costed
Right.
million. Like they look expensive, and that's not an easy feat. Like they do look insanely great. So I know the next one, or no, actually the next one should be easy for you because you're the TV show guy.
Mhm.
So what do you think is the most underrated TV show in your?
Justified.
Okay,
Justified.
still haven't seen
I
it.
um
But I know of I've heard this from many
yeah.
people like yourself who are
Boyd
singing
Crowder
praises.
is Boyd Crowder is the greatest TV villain, TV character
Hmm, hmm.
ever to me. Like, did Walton played this role just, the fucking crazy redneck off the rails. One minute he's there to help you, one minute he's there to can try to kill you.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, he just played the shit out. This is a role that he was supposed to have about 2 minutes worth of lines in the first episode.
Okay.
That's it. That was his entire involvement was supposed to be 2 minutes in the opening montage.
Hmm.
But it was so powerful the way he did it that they said, you know what? I'll put you in another episode.
Yep.
And then he just ran with it. And like they told him what to do in the opening montage.
Hmm.
And Walton said, hey, do I get a little bit of free range here to
Hmm.
do something?
Yeah.
So the original opening is he pulls up in the truck, he gets out, takes the rocket launcher out of the back of the truck, and he's supposed to shoot the rocket launcher and blow up the church.
Hmm.
But they said, yeah, you have liberty to ad lib a little bit. So he gets out of the truck, he lights a cigarette, and he's standing in the dark. And all you see is the tip of the cigarette. He takes the rocket launcher out, he points it at the church, and he screams, fire in the hole! Boom! And the church is, and immediately you're just like, oh shit. Because Fire in the Hole, this whole series is based around Kentucky coal mines.
Yeah.
Fire in the hole is what you scream when you blow up the mine.
Yeah.
So this became sort of a catch line for him of it was a chaos move. He
Hmm.
would blow up a church while his buddies robbed the bank.
Hmm.
And it was become this recurring theme throughout the thing. And then he just got crazier and crazier. And it to me, it's the greatest role.
Yeah.
Timothy Oliphant plays the hell out of Raylan Givens and all
Hmm.
the other people,
Hmm.
but Boyd is what makes that series. You take Boyd out of that series, it's not nearly as interesting. And Walton has built from there, obviously, to
Yeah.
so much more. Um, so Justified is a series that, you know, it's again striking,
Hmm.
funny but dark, violent. Checks all of the great boxes for what a series is just,
Hmm. No, like
dramatic.
when it first came out, it didn't really appeal to me. Like I've always knew about it, but for some reason it never appealed to me. But the more like the older I get, the more people I hear, like yourself, singing praises about that show and how fucking awesome it is. So I'm like,
Yeah, it
I
is.
do need to go back to it, and I actually want to watch it from the start, obviously. And I actually want to see it for myself because Timothy Olyphant is great. Walter Goggins is great. Like many people, I know there are many more people who are in the show that are also
Yeah.
great actors. So yeah, again, it's on my radar. It's just like so much stuff to watch. You know what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. So it is what it is. Well, CJ, this has been a blast. Thank you so much for your time. Honestly, I had a great time. Before we say goodbye, do you have a question or two for me? Because like I've asked you so many questions and
I
you've been patient enough to answer all of
I
them.
don't have any questions really.
That's all right. That's
I
okay.
I had a blast doing this and
Thank you.
I'm sorry it's 3 hours long.
That's all
But I
great. All
this
good.
has been the most fun I've had in so long and
Oh.
it's a great way to sort of get over pneumonia. Um so
You heard it
Thank
for,
you
here.
for
You heard it here first, folks. This show cures what I cannot pronounce. So medically approved. For legal
right.
purposes, no. No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
No, honestly, I had a
no,
blast.
thank you for having me on here and giving me a chance. And I hope you can come on my show. And
Sure.
I've got tons of ideas about movie and pop culture and
Okay.
different
Okay.
things that
We can talk.
um,
We can talk.
I,
No.
I've got I've got an idea for a show that I've wanted to do for a long time. I just need people who
Okay.
know about movies. I
We
don't
can
have a
talk
ton.
off the air. We can talk off the air,
Yeah.
not to spoil
So
anything. But
it would be a perfect idea that you would love.
okay,
Um,
I'm excited. So for the listeners, if they are new to you, what's the best place to catch you on? Like if they want to follow you.
just look up Music God CJ Plain as you see it on the screen.
Hmm.
You'll see my YouTube channel, my Facebook, my TikTok.
Okay.
It's all there. You'll see all the reaction videos. The podcast that I do is called The Noise Report. That's where I interview
Hmm.
people very much like this, musicians, actors, book people, Lloyd Kaufman. I got to
Nice.
do Lloyd Kaufman. That was surreal to me because Lloyd is one of my. I would almost put Lloyd up there as an underrated director,
Hmm.
minus the fact that his movies are just
Excellent.
quality wise
Yes.
or not. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be unfair to try. It would be unfair to say Lloyd is on the level of Quentin or Kevin Smith or somebody like that. You know,
Hmm.
I'm realistic in the. I'm not. You know, I'm crazy. I'm not insane. Um, but
Yeah, I get it.
Lloyd is one of them guys I admire just because he works with nothing and he
Hmm.
creates the most over the top, grotesque, whether it's Toxic Avenger, whether it's Class of Nukem High, whether it's all of the other stuff that he's done in Tromaville.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you know, I love that the creativity and the just complete outrageousness of throwing the rules out the window.
Hmm.
Um,
No, okay. So, okay. Well, thank you. Some of these links will be down below. So, so guys can check you out and see what are you up to. For me, as always, In Movies Lost on Letterboxd, lostinmovies.co.uk is my blog, or here every other Friday with a new guest. This podcast is part of SPDM Crew Podcast Media, and a special thanks goes to HiFlyer Creative for designing my logo. To see what else they have happening, visit highflyercreative.com. And that's all. So until next time, bye bye.